Northwest Fresh Podcast.
I'm so happy to have on the show today Matthias Hallett. Did I say your name right?
You got it right.
Okay, sorry about that. I have like the worst
You're better
problems
than
with
most.
names
You're better
for whatever
than
reason. Like
most.
people that I've had on the show like 3 times, I'll like mess up their name. So I'm glad I got it.
I always joke, it's phonetically spelled. You just sound it out. Matthias.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And you're saying Hallett like mallet.
Yeah, mallet with an H.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 4th District 3. I think the 4th District 3 candidate for Portland City Council.
I think you're right. Yeah.
This cycle, I had a lot on last cycle, but I'm happy. I'm always happy to have more District 3 candidates.
I'm happy for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give, I guess, for people who don't know who you are, just like a quick bio about yourself and why you decided to run.
My name's Matthias Hallett, obviously. I'm from Columbus, Georgia. I have a background in studying government. My passion is environmental law, and that is transitioned into estate planning because of COVID. Kind of tell my story. I went to the University of Georgia. Didn't graduate from there. My grandfather got cancer. I had to go home and take care of him, and graduated from Columbus State University. Then went to law school at Vermont Law. My focus was bioremediation projects, so using hemp and probiotics to clean polluted soils or sites, soils. I heard my accent in that one. Souls. But essentially just trying to, it all started in a class where we were studying the natural resource course. So a lot of wars are fought over fuel. I figured out a way to clean polluted sites and make biodiesel using hemp. It was kind of a adjustment from standard biodiesel because it's always using corn or soybeans, and that's a food crop. So obviously there's you're never going to really replace fuel if you're, cutting away from growing food. So that's kind of how that idea came. My dad's a chemical engineer, so I worked all the science out with him. Went to Vermont Law School and immediately started trying to do my business. So I had 2 startups in law school. This one was my baby. And then based on a bad illegal Terry stop in upstate New York, we were working on a AI attorney. That idea kind of was stillborn. The guy I was working with was the tech guy, and he pitched the idea to a VC and then sailed off into the sunset.
What do you think about that? Because are you a lawyer technically?
Yeah, I'm a practicing attorney.
Okay,
it's like I've been an attorney for 5 years.
Because I know it's kind of a hot topic in the past few years. Like
I
AI
personally like AI. I've to kind of tell my story a little more. I worked on an AI project my first year of law school. My business professor was a general counsel for a startup that was working on an AI that was tracking, legislation that was coming through the pipeline. They hired me as a 1099 and a couple other of my classmates to essentially train the AI to think like a law student. So to me, it's just a large language model. It's a tool. It's you can use it well or you can use it poorly. There's a lot of talk right now about attorneys using it, but to me, it's just like you're supposed to double check everything you do anyway.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna use a tool and then just submit it as like
put it in court.
Yeah, it's like you probably do that, with a staffer writing it and not checking it too.
No, that's exactly what I mean. Because I've heard about some of these high profile cases of like,
that's stupid.
Use this as evidence or something, and it's clearly like AI. But like what you're saying, as long as you check
so it's like you said, it's a moving thing. It's like everybody uses it differently, and we don't have it really clear precedent yet, other than like don't use it if you're gonna if you're doing litigation, not legislation. Essentially, a lot of people are using it as a search engine like Google, and then forgetting that all of that can be discoverable. So it's like that's where a lot of the like you're messing up is coming from. To me, it's like if people are using it as a learning tool before you create a finished work product, and
that makes sense.
I don't see why it's any different. I mean, but
no, I was just curious.
It's one of those like people don't want to have a real conversation about it. To me, like most things, it's like this is bad.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I don't know. I don't want to say I'm mostly against it, but I know a lot of lawyers, and I can definitely understand how it's like searching and aggregating all this legalese can really,
So I will
but
tell you
some of
how I
this,
use it.
yeah, yeah,
So I use it like essentially, I'm old fashioned. I like to write down all my notes in plain English, tracking all the citations I want. And then I will literally upload my notes and the case law that I know for what I'm trying to figure
yeah,
out, and then have it give me a memo. And then I read that memo, double check all the laws, and make sure that, like,
it's
because
all,
obviously it makes
yeah,
mistakes.
cross
So people, if
reference
it's a
or,
people
yeah,
pleasing model, so obviously it wants to make you happy.
right, yeah.
So
So I was
it's
gonna be like, you know what, you're right.
so sometimes I'm like legitimately bullying it. It's like, this is stupid. I know this is not the
Yeah,
law. It's like, I literally gave you word for word what the law is. Don't change it. So to me, it's like, if you treat it like any tool,
yeah,
then it's useful. But I understand all of the criticisms. But to me, it's like, it's here.
for sure.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's not
let's
going
let's
anywhere.
figure out how to use
Uh,
it.
so you were doing all that, and then you were telling me before we recorded too, you kind of got into politics at a young age, would you
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
So I will say where that came from. I am from a place that's kind of the heart of the civil rights movement, really. My family is all military, other than the couple of generations above me. Is literally all the men served in the military, and they were all Vietnam vets, and all were like very critical of bad government decisions, but
Sure.
also
Yeah.
really, really loved their country. So that's was my way of kind of serving my country, especially because of the time frame that I grew up in Columbus. It's like, I watched a lot of really good men go die for a war that made absolutely no sense. So this is the way I could serve at home. I studied government. Went to the local university, studied state and local international government, and then worked the whole time. So campaigns are obviously seasonal work. Other than that, I did what most people do. I've served tables. I worked in a country club where, like, the people in Columbus who were like, the city councilors, businessmen, is like, I served them drinks at their tables, and would listen to them discussing things that I was studying in school, and then would interject with when I felt like they were being stupid.
Yeah. You're
And
like the upper echelon of the city or wherever. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's literally
The
everyone
players, all this. Yeah.
everyone who is like making a decision on how that city moves. I went to the high school that all their kids went to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And so, like, would you say you got into politics because of all that stuff you're saying? Like, you kind of saw your family go through this thing with Vietnam and military, and you're like, I want to change things on the political level.
yeah,
Like,
I'd say that's where the seed was planted for sure.
okay.
But driving to my grandfather sold insurance in Americus, and we lived in Columbus, so that was about an hour or so drive through Jimmy Carter's stomping grounds. So reading about how he changed Georgia way after he one of the things that I always like to tell people, if we would have actually believed what Jimmy Carter was saying on the environment in the 70s, we would not have the battles we're fighting now.
Yeah.
But he worked so hard to, like, change our Plains is a very small place. Uh, for a peanut farmer from Plains to kind of use the law to change people's lives for the better, is like, that's where it started. And then, my family's from Vicksburg, so we literally drive the entire, civil rights circuit
Hmm.
to go there. So you know, it's hard not to walk around Selma and not, realize what happened, and realize that, like, the only reason things changed were because people read the laws for themselves and then applied them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's just one of those where it's like, the civil rights movement was not just you know, a blip in history. It's like, it was a teaching moment for people from me. It's like, you learn the game, you change the game. That's what you do. It's like, that's one of the reasons why my wife bullied me to run, for Portland. It's like, I've lived here for 3 years, and it's like, I don't like the trajectory,
Yeah.
and I don't like the conversations of like, this is how it is, this is what we have to do. And it's
Yeah.
just like, you don't know. Like, half of the problems we have are created. That means that we can fix them.
Hmm.
It's like, if you have a problem that, it's, there are certain things that are inevitable, when you've got this many moving pieces of people,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone, has their own ideas and wants to, you know, capture their American dream. But there's certain things that, like, are just the basics. And to me, I understand what happens when you don't have the basics. I understand what happens when you talk about people like they're not a person because they disagree with you.
Mm.
It's like not a lot of people. I'd venture to say there's very few people running for city council that can look in their family tree and know, one or two rungs. It's like I still hear the stories of, uncle, great uncles and that were hung, you know, when we really did have the, you know, the climate people like to pretend that Portland has now. So
Yeah.
it's one of
No,
those
that's
where it's
good
like it's like
perspective for
it's
sure.
be
Because
be honest,
yeah,
It's
because
like
I
let's not sensationalize what's happening because we're upset.
yeah no, I think it's yeah totally good perspective because they are like there's a lot of I don't know what you call it pearl clutching that goes on in this
I would
city,
say
and that's
that.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like
it's like it's a
you've
lot
kind
of
of
pearl
lived through a
clutching.
lot of like the actual
To me, I will say
drama and
this: like I've
tragedy.
lost two businesses and had to like, a professor stole it from me. An idea, a friend betrayed me, and I don't know. It's like I didn't blame the system. I blamed myself for trusting the wrong people. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the career I'm in now is like this is my third act. You know what I mean? Like I did not go to school to do this. I fell into estate planning. My first job out of law school because of COVID. I'll say my first job in law school was in the probate court in my hometown. I'd say probably that June, the whole city government shut down.
This
And
is
then,
2020 or
yeah, 2020.
okay.
So then I had to kind of pivot and figure out, everything. So I worked for my judge's arch nemesis, actually, in a private practice and kind of, saw I don't know. I guess that's where the disconnect of like people understanding what government does and
Mm.
how it affects their life kind of like burned in my brain. So my friends call it campaign mode when I get a little too excited, but it's like if we're having a conversation and I can tell that that person doesn't quite understand, their viewpoint. It's like I ask them to kind of explain how you got there. Here, people just get mad.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
they
Totally.
think they're like, oh, you don't like me. I was like, no, I'm purely trying to understand you
Yeah. It's a
and
really
understand where you're coming from. And to
yeah.
me, it's just I don't know. It's
It's a
like
strange thing, yeah, in Portland, and I really don't like it. And like, it's one of the reasons I started the show too. Is like there's certain conversations that even if you have them, people just it just turns to anger instead
hmm
of just like understanding that you disagree on something. It's like
that's kind of the thing for me. It's like doing estate planning. I'm used to having tough conversations with people. Obviously, no one. My joke is after my initial meeting, are you prepared to die? After this meeting, you will be. Uh, it's like
that's
it's
good. Yeah, I like that.
but it's cheeky, but it's like you kind of have to think about the
Right.
stuff you don't want to, or my other joke is if you don't make your own plan, you get the state's plan. And the state's
Yeah, it's
plan,
not very good.
yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't written for you.
Right.
It's like, it's
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those, like, it was written before any of us were around. It's,
No, that's great though. So you moved here what 3 4 years ago?
so 23,
Okay.
September 23.
And over the course of the past 3 years or so, you became so upset or just unhappy with this local
Yeah.
government that you decided to
So
jump
I will
in.
tell you my 3 years in Portland as a resident, I've been March, I finished what's called the supervised practice portfolio examination. So essentially, you practice as an attorney until you hit your benchmarks and then you're considered licensed. I did all those requirements about 8 weeks of starting that program and then just kind of got stuck with the mechanisms of getting through. So I sat down for about, 18 months or so, longer than I'm not a sit down and stay still
Yeah.
person, if you've gathered. So that's, riding TriMet to work my first year every day. I saw the city because I take the 75. It's like, walk out the park complex, hop on the bus, drops me off right in front of the office. That's where I kind of like
You're gonna see the
you got the
city
temperature of
for
the city
sure.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Made friends with some of the bus drivers. Shout out Quintus.
Yeah, they got
uh,
some good people. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's how I learned the city. It's like I learned the outskirts obviously in 22 campaigning, but just I we didn't have a car. Well, we had one car, so it's like that's how I got to work. My wife drove the car, and I rode TriMet, and then saved up, bought a little motorcycle to commute with,
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool. You still have that?
getting there.
Okay.
So that bike was my baby, and
Uh-huh.
it got stolen outside of our apartment
Oh
complex.
no.
Thanks to my wife and our AirTag, and we AirTag everything.
Okay, you got the
Uh, I
AirTag on there.
I recovered it,
Like
and
personally, or the police
I
had?
personally recovered it.
Wow.
So literally, to tell you the story, so I rode it to work every day. Um, I go outside to take the cover and the lock off and warm it up. Not there. Uh,
I know that feeling too, by the way. I had my car stolen in like 2012 up here, and
it
it's
is
so
that
weird. You go
it
out there and it's
is
just
it
gone.
is
It's like,
such a vulnerable feeling.
yeah,
To me, it's just like and I'm not that type of person to where
it's
I'm just
so weird. Yeah,
I was
I don't
just
know if you
like,
did. I just started asking people all around, like, did you see like my
so
car?
it was so early there was no one out yet. But like I said, we air tagged. I went and wake my wife up. She grabs her phone, and then we hop in the car and go find it. It's probably 7-10 minutes away from where we live in Brooklyn, that neighborhood.
Yeah,
And then we set the ringer on the AirTag, and they've got it covered and locked in front of their house like it's theirs.
but you could just hear that thing
Yeah, I
going
mean,
off.
I'm
Yeah,
tracking it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
mind you, it's like, this is my baby. I saved up for a year for this thing.
And it's
It's
got
like,
the same cover on it and
oh,
everything, or their own
it's their
tarp or
own
something.
cover. It's a top or a tarp, and then they locked it like it's theirs. Now, all of
Wow.
my stuff was on the ground. So they had drilled out the ignition, hot wired it. I had just done the 9,000 mile service on this thing.
Ah,
So it's like one of those, my first thought was like, why did I not wait?
yeah.
It's like, I spent all that
I
money.
was wondering too, because I know, car theft is a huge thing. Shout out to that. I forget the Instagram account. They
There's a
follow each
Facebook
other when
page
it's like
that
PDX
someone,
stolen cars or something like
yeah,
that.
so there's a
And they
face.
help,
Yeah,
yeah, they'll help people
it's a
find.
community network
Yeah.
now.
But I was
Uh,
just like, I've never heard it. I don't even know how you do it with motorcycles. I guess you just hotwire it.
so I mean, it's essentially they drilled through the ignition and hot wired it, and then joy rode, and had more damage in one night than I did in 9,000 miles of that motorcycle. We sat for about 2.5 hours waiting for the police to get there so I could do the AAA stuff. Actually, I'll say this is probably the moment I realized, like, either I'm gonna run and try to fix the city, or I'm fucking moving. So sorry, if not
It's all
off
good.
curse. My
Yeah.
mom's gonna watch that. But like, I got, while on dispatch, they told me, I was like, this is my bike. Read the VIN number, holding my title, and they're like, if you recover that, you are going to have a bigger charge than the person that stole it from you in the first place, because apparently that would make me a vigilante.
For getting your own bike back. Is that what
Hmm.
oh my God.
So I sat, my wife calmed me down. I'm not a person to like look at my stuff and be told I can't
Yeah.
take it.
It's ridiculous too, because
And
you
then
you have the air tag, you have the VIN, all that. It's
we
like,
found it.
it's yours.
And
Yeah.
because we were on the phone while we were going to recover it, they were like, oh, well, you recovered your vehicle. It's no longer an emergency. So wait, we'll get to you when you can. So I'm sitting there outside of, I mean, a known crime location since it's a
Yeah.
stolen
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
So, and
They're probably stealing other stuff too, I would imagine.
once a thief,
Seem
always a thief in my
logical.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just, that's where I was like, this city makes zero sense. Because I called my best friend back home, shout out Gene. He's a firefighter in Nashville, and literally telling him what happened. He's like, how is that not an emergency? It's like, you were literally standing outside waiting to recover a vehicle when someone stole it. It's like, that is literally waiting for a violent incident in most major cities, because obviously they don't have any, qualms with breaking the law.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Right.
like, so
Right.
you think that they're magically going to be a
Yeah.
non-violent
So here you
thief?
go. Here's your bike
Here's your
bag.
bike back.
Yeah.
But it's the, it's after it's 2.5 hours. I talked with the cops after they got there, and they just explained it to me. There's like, with the budgets,
Just
like, we don't have time for this.
yeah.
So they're like, this is, stolen vehicles are now insurance. Like, it's an insurance problem.
Right. And
Uh,
also, like, I don't know if he explained, but maybe was he saying also like this is just how the law is with as far
he
as
said,
recovering it and all
uh,
that.
plain language, he said, this is because they defunded us.
Because this is 2023 or
23 or 24,
somewhere. Okay, yeah,
23.
yeah.
It's 24. Sorry.
Which was after some. It's funny. Some people were like I had this. I think like a Lyft driver one
Yeah, it
time
was
who was
24.
disputing that, and I was like, no, there was a there was a city council vote. I think it was in 22 or 20
Yeah, so that's what
that
they
defunded.
explained to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I literally moved here dealing with the consequences of other people's decisions. And running now, it's like they're doubling down on the stuff that made this place really hard to live to me.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's it to me. It's like if other people want to, get to the basics of government, to me, it's just like I should be able to call the police and they help me get my stolen vehicle back. I shouldn't have to, you know,
Yeah,
just sit there and hope for the best,
and it just creates like a series of other problems then you have to
Yeah,
deal
it's
with,
like, and I have said this story to other people. It's like I'm uniquely prepared for situations like that. And most people aren't.
Yeah.
I'm concealed carry holder. It's like I grew up in an army town. It's like I'm not scared of, being my own law, but that's not what we sign up for
Yeah.
in America.
You're right though, like you're better equipped than, you can navigate the law better than
Yeah.
most
Yeah, it's
people,
just one
all
of
this
those. It's
stuff.
like I realized I was like, yeah, regular people wouldn't be able to get through the situation like
Yeah.
we did.
That's a amazing origin kind of story to the campaign cuz yeah, I was going to ask you like I ask all the D3 and D4 people cuz they're, the two districts that are up
Hmm.
in 2026 here. Like, I just ask everyone cuz I get so tired of like the rubber stamp boilerplate
Yeah.
stuff on people's website and all that.
Hmm.
Um but that sounds like an actual like
I
story
I
that
mean, for me, it is real.
yeah, yeah.
It's like like we were talking about before camera. It's like everything's so abstract to me here. But I live in a a way that like I can't live
Yeah. Like
abstract.
this is
It's like it's like defunding police sounds cool when we've got bad press about bad policing. I'm from a place where, I know what it looks like when we
yeah.
don't have police.
Right,
It's
right.
like, everyone talks about what happens on the north side. It's like my fear, and my wife will tell you this. This place terrifies me because we are set up for organized crime to come in here and run rampant.
Mm.
There is no response. Like, it's like, the take for instance that what was the petty crime ring a few years ago? The catalytic converter rings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like
I heard they're coming back now again because it's like they'll
it's
find new models that are
to
valuable
me,
and
it's just like crime is always circle in
yeah.
a circle. It's like whatever is making money and whatever law enforcement doesn't have the
Right.
priorities to stop,
It's a
it's going to come back.
vector,
It's
yeah.
like, but this place like legitimately terrifies me. It's like,
You know what's going on now in that kind of vein? I don't know if you heard about this, but I don't even know like the scheme of money making, but have you heard about these tire dumps? I'll put the
hmm,
headlines up, but
no.
there's people
If you
that
have,
in Southeast Portland on like the east side, they'll dump like hundreds of tires just on people's property. And there's like photos and video of it. I'll put it up, but it's
oh
just
my goodness.
that's like the latest thing of and then like the property owners don't know how to like remove all these tires and
Honestly, to me, and then in Portland, it's like if you just do what I would do if somebody did that, we get a truck and put it on there and go find
yeah.
a real place to drop those. It's like you're looking at a fine from the city for
Totally.
this
Yeah,
is like
exactly.
one
You're
of
in
those where
this
it's just like
like your situation you explain, you're in this thing where you're a victim, but now you have to navigate like 10 other problems. And
yeah,
it's just like,
and to me, that's not fair.
yeah.
It's and obviously studying political science, it's very simple to me. Local government, like obviously, the larger your populace, the more moving pieces. But this is not that big of a city.
Yeah. I know it's getting
It's just,
smaller too. I was
and that's one of the things that I was talking with my wife about. It's like, how in the world is a city that is losing two population, demographics like mid-career and retirees? Why is that not a canary in the coal mine?
I know, yeah.
It's like
I know
because all of your policies need an increased tax base.
absolutely. Yeah,
But
and
if you're
that's why
pushing the tax base out and then we're not attractive to business, then
yeah, it's
you
funny to
know,
me because like a lot of current sitting councilors, and by the way, I've talked about this on my IG. I'm having like 3 city councilors in the next month or so, or I think maybe 4 actually. We'll see, but a lot of them like they'll dispute that our tax base is shrinking, but then in the same breath they're like, "But we have this huge budget deficit." And it's like,
I
can you
mean,
see how those things are connected? Like,
it's like it's one of those like it's like
you
you can't
can,
have the chicken
yeah,
without the
like
egg to
they,
me. It's just,
um,
but
but if like we were just talking about this for a few minutes, but like if you were to tell somebody who is interested in you as a candidate, like what do you bring to council, or what would you bring that's not currently there?
uh, not to step on any toes, but I feel like I'd be one of the only adults in the room. It's just,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, what I would bring is pragmatic, honest leadership. My practice of, I'm in a practicing state planning attorney, and kind of my shtick as an attorney is just being honest, because obviously people, the bias of attorneys, most people don't
Yeah.
think we're going
It's
to
kind
tell
of
the truth.
negative. Yeah. Yeah.
So that came from practicing during the kind of COVID timeline. I got a lot of cases that weren't mine, and I had to give bad news to people. And
Mm-hmm.
the attorney that I worked for, it's like he had a lot of staffers that did stuff before I got there that like I had to explain, decisions and things that were already in motion that like I may not have agreed with, but had to like tell the
You got to
honest
give the
truth to
bad news.
people.
Yeah.
And it just kind of stuck. It's like they're just like, yeah, that really sucks, but thank you for just being honest. I was like, well, I mean, to be completely honest, I can't remember lies well, so it's easier to just tell the truth, because then you don't have to remember what you said. It's
Yeah.
like people was like, oh, you said this. I was like, yeah, that sounds
It's
about
usually the
right.
better way to go. Yeah.
But that's kind of how I honestly live my
Yeah.
life. It's
No,
like
and
that's what I plan to do if I win.
it's
It's just like
yeah.
lift it. Just kind of to be honest, is like the other difference is like I'd focus on what actually matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
Well,
I have to say this. Why in the world are we focusing on banning foie gras when we literally have homeless issues that haven't been solved? A budget that y'all can't agree on funding basic city services. It's like you can go to a small town and just about anywhere, and they're not going to argue about police, fire, and shelters. Like that shouldn't be an argument. It's like, and now that thanks to your show, I see that there's a lot of money floating around that could be used for these things, and to just say, well,
yeah.
it's like, to me, it's like, what I will say is like, I will give you a hard answer on why I can't do that. And then if I see just to kind of use the analogy I've seen in reading the charter, it's like, why in the world is the mayor not just saying, all right, I'm going to be the tie breaking vote?
Yeah.
This is a new system. We don't have precedent yet. It's like, push it.
Absolutely. Someone's got to set that
It's like,
precedent.
if you go too far,
Yeah.
all right, sorry.
Right. Right.
It was like, yeah, well, I would be like, well, you see how the fire department needs new trucks, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like, we'll figure it out next time. But
Yeah.
it's like, let's get through to me, let's get through I hate to use the war analogies, but this is a war to me. It's like, is a war on basic livability. It's a war on basic, city services to me. It's just like, I jokingly told someone, this is the only place as a black man I've ever driven that I don't have a pucker when the police come behind me. I mean, it's just the truth.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those, it's like, they, they couldn't be bothered.
Mm.
It's like, they've got so much other shit to worry about. It's like, I remember when we first moved here and I saw people zooming by, and there's like, they're not going to pull them over. And Lauren's like, no. It's like, well, why would they do that? I was like,
Yeah.
well, their budget's pretty shit. And it's like, I'd be writing tickets.
Yeah.
It's like
There's like
that's what they
shootings
used to
and
do
all that.
back
Yeah.
home. It's like, you want to know how we got our so Columbus has a post essentially special tax for anything that like we don't have money for. So it's like a 1 cent sales tax that kind of modernized our school system.
Hmm.
1 cent sales tax and modernized, well, I say school systems, it was the headquarters for the Muskogee County School District. And then we did another one to increase police and fire, and the citizens voted on it. And then we had, few years of, really good growth, and then they capped it. And then when crime kind of raised again, it's like they brought out another vote, and they're like, no. But it's just they were really good at explaining, kind of the follow-on cost of doing something
Mm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, it's an extra, 4 or 5 cents on your dollar locally, but we're able to hire 2 new police officers per 1,000 people. It's, to me, it's just, I don't understand why when there's a police levy here, people are like, it's
Yeah.
like, but
Oh
they're just
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I want a new roof on the on the museum.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah. All this other stuff.
but it's just like, but have you dealt with living in the city and not being able to get help? And then
Yeah.
it burned in my mind the way the police were just like, I'm really sorry, but there's literally nothing I can do for you.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's an interesting thing too. If you ever, I don't know, I know a number of police up here, and it's like there's just an honesty and an exhaustion when they
Hmm.
say that. You
Oh
can
yeah.
tell that's like they're not just BSing you. It's
Mm-mm.
like
It's like
they're
it's
like
hundred
we got
percent.
other stuff to like
Yeah, it's
go to, you
100%.
know,
Like
and
that's
it's
that's
like
what I would
endless
say.
like
You can hear it in their voice.
yeah.
It's just one of those. It's like, and I personally, I will say, is I understand it. It's like you do a hard job
Yeah.
in a place where people are literally spitting on you, telling you you're a a jackboot thug.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and
It's,
also a lot of the council too. You know,
yeah,
it's like they're
it's
just treating them, they're just demonizing them, and it's like they work. They're all city employees. Like they're
that
all,
that's that's a good point to me. It's like I don't understand why these people act like y'all aren't on the same team.
yeah,
It's like if we all live here, it's like it, and it's I feel like it's just a Trump effect. Everyone's just like orange man bad.
yeah. It is a lot of that.
As like if you have anything other than just the furthest away from what he says as a opinion, you're somehow terrible.
Yeah,
And it's just like, it's like I'd hate to say it, but American politics has been center right, center left for the vast majority of when we got things actually
mm-hmm.
done. When
Yeah, and
things, like I said, I got out of politics in 22
yeah,
originally. It's like I watched that just go. The far
right. The
right and the
polars.
far left
Yeah,
are
yeah,
controlling the
yeah.
narrative. And essentially the regular people are just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and I was gonna
It's
say you see that now with the national. You
yeah.
know, to me the Democrat Party has been struggling to find. You know, it's like they want to get that center, and they
Hmm.
kind of failed in 24, and now they're kind of making the same mistakes with like Graham Plattner and all this
To
stuff
me,
again. And
I will say, because I've worked campaigns for the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Republicans are way better at thinking forward and having a clear plan of how they're going to get there. Whether you agree with that what they're going to do or not,
yeah,
they're very, very clear on these are the benchmarks we need to meet. They're already planning for 28. And
right, right.
moving things for 28. Republicans are so, or not Republicans, Democrats are so reactionary to me. It's just like you had an entire Trump presidency to plan
Hmm.
your next move, and all y'all did was point fingers and try to get him out of office. To me, it's just we have a constitution that where if you don't like what's going on, there are mechanisms to get yourself there. It's like certainly in this state, if you don't like you could add ballot measures.
Right. We have a number of them
It's like
coming up. Yeah.
it's like if you really don't like your elected officials, it's like there are ways to. I mean, I've seen it back home. It's like I watched Mayor Porterchef is that old mayor in Columbus. He is still called the mayor 20 years after he was the mayor. And I've seen people that remember when he was the mayor go to his legal office. Now he's in private practice and demand an answer on how they can get help from the
Mm,
city government.
mm.
And he'll actually pick up the phone and call who's ever in there and push you on the way.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's to me, it's just like that helpfulness of local government.
Yeah.
It's
What's
like it's
it's one of the reasons I love, and I always tell people on the show and everywhere I talk to them is like, you know, local is the area that's easiest to change.
mm-hmm,
You know, I'm glad you're jumping in this as a candidate because it's like, it's just, you know, people get wrapped up in the national
mm-hmm.
stuff, but this stuff you can actually get involved like on any level and make a
That
change. And
that's one of the things that I've always really never understood.
yeah,
Everyone, acts like we only make decisions every 4 years.
yeah, and like you said,
It,
it's even a lot of our current electeds here. You know, they use the national stuff as a lot of their strategy, and it's
mm-hmm.
like it drives me crazy because I follow the local stuff at a very granular level
Yeah,
here, and it's like it really doesn't have anything to do with
it
that. It's
doesn't.
all our local budget, and like you said, our
Mm-hmm.
tax base and supporting our
That's
businesses and all this stuff. And you can do that like most municipalities and
mm-hmm.
like not worry about what's going on with
That's
the current president, whoever it
you
is,
asked
and you
what
know,
my difference would be. That's it.
yeah,
It's like, I always say, sometimes the less you do, the more you do. Uh, Local government, that is very true. We can't solve the world's problems, but we can solve the city's problems.
yeah,
It's like if you want to be a moral standard for the world, which is, a lot of what the rhetoric of Portland really seems like to me. It's just like, how about you start fixing the things that everybody struggles with?
yeah. The things that people have been complaining about in Portland for like 10 years, they
Yeah,
can't seem to fix those
it's like
things.
that's the thing to me. It's just like we went to this might get me in trouble, but we went to one of the I can't remember the acronyms, but PDX 350 or something invited us to electrify Portland, but it's PCF people essentially. The fact that that much money is being spent, and I went to the event, they're doing weatherizations. I was very impressed by the induction cooking thing. It's like, that's probably the coolest thing that I've ever seen. My wife was laughing at me, but I immediately was like, I want one of those when we go camping. But I just don't understand why a lot of this stuff can't be done by the private sector
Mm,
or, businesses. It's like, I just, I don't understand I guess, the marriage between nonprofits and
mm,
government here. Just because to me, to go into the estate tax, if we remove the taxpayer dollars from going to nonprofits and then allow the people that are leaving the state to do lifetime gifting, to the state, is
mm.
like, people can buy bonds and we can figure out a way that they can lower their state estate tax for that. Have them donate to those nonprofits. You literally get tax credit
Mm,
for giving to nonprofits.
right.
Why is the city doing that and not the citizens? To me.
That's a great. Yeah, I've never heard. That's a great question. I think.
But I've never seen a city bankroll nonprofits
Yeah.
like this. So it's
No,
like, it's
it's
one of those, like, legitimately, I was like, I don't understand it. It's
yeah.
like,
No, it is. I think this term gets overused, but I do think it is a complex. Like it's the nonprofit
mhm.
industrial complex,
It looks like the military industrial
and
complex
what
to
I
me.
always say too here is
It's
like
like,
I don't know if you feel this way, but like in Portland now, like most people who are employed, it's either with the government, local governments, whether it's the county or the
mhm.
city, or it's these nonprofits, and like there's not a lot of
There's not a lot
private
of jobs
hiring.
here.
Um,
And to that point, my wife's uncle is a real estate developer in town, and he was, well, now he moved to Nashville because of stuff we were talking about.
just
But
got out. Yeah.
yeah, but he was kind of making a point that kind of alludes to that. It's a lot of the new construction, the construction awards,
Yeah.
they're not for profit businesses here. They're all nonprofits. And that kind of, I'm just going to kind of double down on why that doesn't make sense. If all of your employers are government agencies and nonprofits, there is no tax base. Nonprofits don't pay
Yeah.
taxes.
People, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because people don't really understand that. There's some good episodes that maybe I'll put them in here with economists that talk about this of like, if you don't have what are called traded sector
Hmm.
businesses or industries, all that money just circulates. So it's like the nonprofits and the city and the county employees and all that stuff. Like that money's going to just evaporate because
Hmm.
there's no private money coming in to like prop up the economy, the
Yeah.
local economy. So yeah, it
It's
disintegrates
Yeah, it's like
over time.
it,
And,
like I said, me and my wife watch a show. It's like a lot of
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't remember the professor you had of economic,
Eric.
Eric.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like
been
every one of those takes. I'm just like, he's been here teaching at this university. Some of the city councilors went to the same school he taught at.
yeah, yeah.
How in the hell did y'all not listen to that?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Uh,
but there's a lot of common sense being floated in
yeah.
Portland to me. It's just, the people that can do something with it don't seem to be
Um,
listening.
no, for sure. I was gonna move on to because you mentioned you've been like reading the charter or you were
Yeah, well, I read all the rules.
yeah. I've had most lawyers are kind of like that, which is I like. Because one of my things I had on here was I was gonna say I one of the reasons I'm happy to talk to you is like I said I first of all don't like the rubber stamp
Hmm.
boilerplate stuff, but also like you might not be the most high profile candidate right now, but it's refreshing because like in my opinion this charter and the small donor program to some degree it all kind of rewards incumbents.
It does.
um
Yeah,
and
I'll get
it's
on a soapbox on that in a second.
yeah, it's
But
just crazy to me because like a lot of these folks that literally wrote the charter, they'll defend it and say it's the opposite of that, and it's like it really just entrenches this kind of institutional nonprofit
it
power, which
is.
is a lot of from where those folks came from.
Hmm.
And it makes them really hard to remove once they're
Yeah,
a counselor because like
yeah.
I've talked about it on here before. These incumbents are they're like most of the top 10 of the small donor program
Hmm.
already. Like it took them
Uh,
like 2 months to get.
I will tell you,
And a lot of that money is taxpayer money,
it
the
is
match
all
money.
taxpayer match
So
money, and it is, just to go back to the political science, the incumbency advantage is real.
yeah, absolutely.
Name recognition is real. The fact that, well, the fact that you have a track record should work in your favor. I don't know how.
Sometimes it does,
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that we literally could not get into this system. It took forever to do all these mandatory trainings and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
literally
Mm-hmm.
they had like probably five or six hundred $1,000 already, like you said, between the
Yeah.
shows and horses
Yeah.
before we could even get our notice of intent in. And then listening to one of your shows is like, I didn't even know they had a dollar cap limit on it. And it's like, oh, that's why you were making sure that nobody else got in there. You're trying to make sure all that money goes to your chosen horses
Mm-hmm.
before anyone else gets in. So I will take this to plug. We need 250 people
Yeah.
to give us at least $1 so we can certify by the end of the month. We have gotten everything lined up, and it's just been hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, and then they give us a new rule we have to figure out. So that's our essentially our goal right now is 250 Portland residents, and I'll shout out Tom too. He's still on the bottom like I am. This is like, but it's real. It's like you need money to get
Yeah.
out in front
Yeah.
of people,
Yeah.
and if you hoard the public funds for yourself and then you use taxpayer funds in your office because that's illegal, you can't send. How many mailers did we? Sorry,
I know. I have the mailers thing on
yeah,
here.
we got
Yeah.
three mailers, two mailers.
Because since the last one I did with Max, I also got one from Steve Novick,
So we
who might come on. I'm
we
trying to get
might
him on
not
the show. But
have gotten that one yet, but to me, it's just that is blatantly illegal.
it's yeah, like
And
I
I will
really feel
say
like we need to do
I
something
feel like
about
it's
that.
blatantly illegal for one reason only. You were using your office and taxpayer funds to keep your job, and then it's illegal because to me the appearance of using. It might not be illegal under Oregon law, but Oregon's got weird laws. I'm still learning all the
Yeah,
weird wrinkles.
and you can
But
tell from
but
looking at
federally,
these.
in every other state I've lived in, that's blatantly, explicitly, you don't do it.
Yeah,
It's like you literally put your own little campaign stamp and you use your PAC money and then you send it. But to me, it's also just tone deaf, given the
right.
the
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 budget
climate we're
crunch
in.
and all
It's
that.
like everyone's watched real time how you guys aren't doing your job, and then you're gonna use our money to tell me how great you're doing
Yeah. No, I'm
it.
glad that because like I said, I had it on here, and I'm glad. Like I always like people's legal opinion on it because it's like
Yeah.
to me, all these guys clearly had like a legal advisor to be like, we just want to be right on the legal edge of
Well,
like what's
that's the thing to me. Is like I said, it's probably legal
yeah,
because like attorneys are really really good at flirting that line.
right.
Uh, but also to me, given the climate and given how they're championing themselves as
Yeah, yeah. I
for
think
the
it.
people,
Yeah,
you were literally doing just I will just call a spade a spade. The actions they have are just like they say the bad scary billionaires treat us, but
totally,
it's like
totally. Yeah.
treat me like I'm an idiot, you know and then
Yeah, well, it's like
like it's
one
what.
day in City Hall they'll be saying, "Well, we have no, absolutely no money," and then you get all these mailers that cost like hundreds of thousands of
Uh,
dollars to print and stuff, and
it's a lot of money. You know
yeah,
how many mailers we were able to make with not getting public funds? 250. You know how many people are registered in our district since we live in the same
yeah.
district?
Do you know?
200,000.
Okay, I was wondering that
I've
because
got
I
about
was like,
177,000 worth of registered and voted last time in our voter data.
yeah,
So it's one of those like just regular stamps. That's expensive as
exactly, yeah.
hell.
And
Like
even if you did 150,000, let's say a
I'm
conservative
saying,
number, like
even if you're just whittling for your group,
yeah, and you're
that's
doing
too much money.
color printing for these fold out things, like it's a lot of
Oh yeah,
money.
we've got 253 by 5 cards.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just
Yeah.
like it's it's the
I'm saying,
difference.
but I'm saying what they're doing.
Oh,
It's
I
like
know. It's like
it's hugely
it's the
expensive and
reason
like
why it made so much. Like I was like, damn, that'd have been nice to be able to send that, but
yeah.
like
And
I,
like the legal argument, I would actually, I said this in the last one. I do think it's illegal because it's like it's not a district update. This is
hmm
purely self promotion,
it
and
is
like
a propaganda
there's
mailer.
no way to look at that other than candidate promotion.
hmm
So anyway, that's my
It's
take on it. But
I agree with your take.
um
It starts in the beginning. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan race.
That's the other thing to me.
yeah,
It's like it's nonpartisan until like I found out that it
no,
everyone was DSA,
yeah, no,
and I was like,
I
I thought this was supposed to remove parties so we could make clear decisions for everybody.
yeah, no, I had
It's
that
like,
on here. I was gonna pull it up since we're talking about it. Yeah, I think I just wrote like partisanism in municipal government, DSA injecting partisanism into nonpartisan governments. There's so many problems with this because, I've talked about it before. There's block voting over district, which is like Rose City Reform did an article about that months ago, where we already have seen in these first 2 years these DSA counselors voting with their block over their district's priorities. In my opinion, and also I think legally at this point, you can say there's been violations of public meetings laws. There's the famous seventh vote case that Steve Novik kind of joined in on. This was like last year's first defunding kind of attempt. And that was documented like across the board. The only reason they didn't do anything is because there was like this window, this 30-day window where you have to report it. And otherwise they were like, yeah, that was like a clear violation of taking secret meetings to get a seventh vote and a quorum. But yeah, there's so many problems with this partisanism, and it drives me crazy because it's literally in the charter that this is a nonpartisan government.
Yeah.
But that's like 100% of what these guys do in the block that exists is just gang together and
and
be a
railroad.
partisan body, and
Honestly, it's like I don't disagree with your opinion. That worries me. Purely because, like you said, we signed up for this government.
Yeah.
And you ran in your district to represent your constituents and their interest across the board. Now, we can get into the size of these districts, but to me, it's like once you are in your district, your job is to make sure your district gets the best it can, but not at the expense of the whole city. Because if the whole city is doing better, the old term, rising tides raise all boats. So I think that like you take your experience, like we both live in District 3. So if you're a city councilor for District 3, you take your experience of living in your district, and then you go to City Hall and you try to make it to where your experience living in your district gets better. You take the experience of the other councilors, and then you try to figure out things that work for everyone. And then that's how you get your block. You build consensus by having a exchange of ideas. And we want to go to they say they want to go to a direct democracy. This is not a direct democracy. Direct democracy would be each one of those people representing a different subsect of the city, working together to figure out what works best for everybody in the city. Period. Yeah. That's it. Well, it's like, so to me, it's the fact that they have that PSYOC committee and then they're doing all this. It's like, they don't care about us. They care about being famous, in my mind.
Yeah.
It's just like,
it's true. And kind of building up their own structures in this existing thing. And I was wondering, like, is there anything you would do about that? Like, if you became a counselor, would you propose
so personally, I think that all of the nonsense that's happening is like, I would try to outlaw it. So, ordinances to make sure you do your job, do your damn job.
Yeah,
so it's like, if you can't, like, let's have as many meetings in public as possible. Obviously, there are private conversations that need to be had, but they shouldn't be private conversations with a governing body of a organization that is not your constituents.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, if we're having private meetings, it needs to be, with citizens. They tell me what they, want. But I'm of the opinion that government should be transparent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can't honestly say that I would need private meetings unless I'm trying to, obviously take the motive center example. That some of those deals can't be public because, there's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that we should be boring the populace. I jokingly kind of say, it's like, I want to take this back to C-SPAN. It's like, it's like, I will set up a camera. You can watch us do the work, but I hope you get bored and you go about your day and realize that, like, oh yeah, that bored me to death. But I think they mentioned we're going to get more police. I think they mentioned we've got, more businesses coming here. That's what government should be.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's all on camera in front of people.
Yeah. It's like, to me, it's like, it's the reason we have public laws are because stupid deals have been made in secret.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I like some of that. I was wondering, I guess, because you did kind of half answer it, but I was wondering, like, specifically the partisan stuff, like I
Oh,
just don't know what you could do about it, but like there's things I
uh,
think you could pass that would be like punitive to
yeah.
actions that are
So yeah,
partisan or
it's like,
something,
I
you know?
apologize for not answering fully, but
No, you kind of did, I think.
yeah, I would say to that end is like I don't know how to remove it if the rules are there and people aren't following them. So enforcement mechanism. So if
Yeah.
you, I mean, you can be whatever party you are, but if you are actively showing that you aren't voting for, your interest, and we can show, and especially with the DSA, is like they post what they want you to do. So if
Hmm.
you're doing that, I feel like it's a
Yeah.
it's a fair way to
Yeah.
point you're
Yeah.
being partisan, but
Yeah.
it's like at the end of the day, it's like we're supposed to be kind of meeting in the middle. If you have generally, I go back to how it used to be. You had a progressive and you had a conservative, and then they kind of the progressive pushed the conservative to think a little bigger. The conservative pushed the
Yeah.
progressive to
Challenge each other. Yeah.
to figure out where the money comes from,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we find a solution that works for everybody. That's what it's like if I've got to draft rules to get to that, we will do that. But I mean, to just be honest, it's like if I get in there, the first step is to just sit down and be like, what's going on?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, where do you live? Have you not seen all this stuff?
Yeah.
It's like,
Totally. Yeah.
if so, how big is that fence for
Yeah.
your property to where you haven't had someone knock on your, door at 2 a.m. and get told by the police? It's like, oh, they crossed the street. There's nothing we can do about it. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not going to sleep now. Like,
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Because like it's kind of a hard. I've never asked anyone that, but also it's like
I
that's a hard
appreciate
thing
it.
to legislate.
No,
But
it's
there
like,
are.
it's true.
I've
Yeah.
talked about it before. There is a state ORS law, and I think a lot of these, electeds can't they don't face the same. The only way they can face this is to be removed.
Hmm.
Like
I
people
mean,
vote them out.
that's true.
But what I always say on the show is their staff are subject to these laws,
Hmm.
and I'm 100% confident they are breaking these laws of
I,
doing partisan stuff
oh, yeah.
on the job,
Hmm.
campaign type stuff. Like we
So,
just talked about the mailers and all this
ironically,
stuff.
I was reading through the ordinances and what city councilor staff are allowed to do for political activities. The police department can't. So
Yeah. I mean, the
literally, is
police
what.
can barely do anything.
No, I'm saying it's one of those where it's like if we think that police officers and the associated staff shouldn't be getting involved in doing that on taxpayers' dollars.
Right.
It's like it's very clear. You have to be off the clock.
Hmm.
You can't be compelled to do it.
Right.
You have to do it on your own accord. How is that not the same rules for the people making the rules?
Totally. That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's
Yeah.
like, so
Yeah.
it's like I said, we watch the show a lot. We like it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the, just the common sense questions that a lot of your guests have, I agree with. It's like this, but I will say this as an attorney, I've done all the messy legal work. That's why I do estate planning now, because my clients don't hate me. They're dead by the time everything's
Yeah,
active.
right.
I'm just dealing with their kids.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, man. It's like I don't understand how we got here with a lot of this stuff, and I don't know all of the weird rules that people are like just getting to the right of to allow this. But I will say the main issue we have is a lack of enforcement and a lack of accountability if those rules are on the books. And it's kind of the same problem we have with Congress. You got
Yeah, yeah.
to they have to censor themselves. So it's
Yeah.
like it's up. That's like having the criminal, put himself in jail. In my mind, it's like he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
He's just going to say,
Right,
"Oh,
absolutely, yeah.
it's like, no, it's not
Like,
illegal."
you know what? I'm a good
It's like, I'm a
person.
good person,
I don't need to do
and then
that.
I'm gonna make sure that you know I'm a good person by telling you I'm a good person.
Because I promise. No.
I would never do nothing like that. But like that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's like, but regular people don't get to do that.
There's a couple more charter things I was gonna ask, and then I have a bunch of topical stuff we can go through. We went through some of it already, but so we were talking about this setup of city council, and one of the things I talk about a lot on here is but I'm just curious your take on multi-member districts. I was gonna tell this little thing about I mean, this is kind of related, I guess, but I just think multi-member districts are probably a failure. Like from what we've seen in Portland, I was looking it up this week, and there's basically only 6 places in the U.S. that use it. I wanted to shout out Amarillo, Texas, because they have single and dual member districts, which I thought was cool. They have a hybrid, and I don't know if that's population based or whatever, but I just think that like there's a reason not many places do this, and it's probably because it doesn't work.
We're seeing it doesn't work.
And I don't know what you think about this. I think Max told me this, but he was saying there's this new legal theory that it's kind of unconstitutional in the sense that because you have 3 counselors and you're only voting for one at the end of the day.
Oh,
It's not really representative.
It's 100%. It's like I can't, speak to the legality of it without reading the case law. It's like I don't want to give you an opinion, but I will say, to say I am an attorney, as opposed to Max as I'm not an attorney,
Right.
And it looks bad.
Yeah.
To me, like it's one of those.
The other thing I was going to bring up was like I'll put the Oregonian story. I've put it up many times, but
Actually, let me answer that a little bit. I don't. It's like I can't say that I have a opinion on how to fix this system of government. I'm from the school where this is what we got.
Yeah,
so
you got to get in there to do anything.
It's like it's one of those like this is the system we've got.
Yeah.
It's like we just got this one. On the track, so to speak. It's that's debatable, but I don't know. I figure like we have so many problems to fix currently. They're like amending the structure now.
It's a fair point because
isn't the time.
Anything
to me,
legislative is gonna
it's
eat
not
up
the
a
time.
lot of time.
It's not the time.
Yeah.
It's like 100%. I agree that this is the stupidest system of government I've ever seen. Just to say that it's like ranked choice. I have. Because of transferring, I have the equivalent of a master's in political science before I went to law school, hours wise.
Yeah.
It took me 15 minutes to figure out how to fill out the ranked choice ballot. I know what I'm doing. And I was like, what in the hell is this Scantron? Like,
it's a huge list of,
And then when I got involved, I broke down the results of ranked choice. It is a system that is rigged to push who you want in, is how I see it. And that the reason I say that is because when I read it, when we voted for it, didn't make any sense. When it got in, I'm seeing why they voted for it. They go to your block. It's like, this only makes sense if you want to govern like that. Because it's a even number of people. So if you're kind of forced to make sure that you build a coalition. Generally, that's done by, normal politics work. It's like you talk about what works best for everybody.
Right.
Here, they're just like, get in line. We're pushing this through.
Yeah.
And all of the talk is really to get a 7th person
in
their block
out
of whoever their chosen horses are so they can solidify this decision making. We've already seen this decision making is detrimental to most regular people. The people making these decisions have so much money that they don't have to deal with the consequences of these decisions. You defund police, like your show said, the other one. I don't have a private number that they will pick up whenever something happens.
Right, for their private security.
Yeah, it's just like most people don't. We call the regular 911.
Yeah.
And we've got 20 minutes right now and hope that they can consider your emergency an emergency. Like that's it's like I hate to harp on it, but it's like that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like, and I lived in Atlanta, and it's like I know what organized crime looks like, and we had real police. Nothing against these guys; they're really cool guys. The ones I've met, they just don't have authority to do their job.
Right.
And even when they do have the authority, they don't have enough money to get there.
Yeah.
So it's just. Whatever we need to do to make sure this isn't the situation. It's like if I've got to draft legislation in city council to get you to do your damn job, then I will do that.
Yeah.
If I've got to literally pull up in your office with people that are being hurt by your decision so you understand what that means, we will do that. But I'm at a point now, it's like they've legitimately just pissed me off enough to get involved. I don't like stupid decisions being told they're good decisions. It's like, to me, it's like that's my biggest pet peeve. It's like, don't say you're doing something right for me and then I'm harmed by it and then you explain it away.
Yeah.
And that goes back to where I'm from and who raised me. It's like I have a very real understanding of what American history is.
Mm-hmm.
And them trying to say this is just like the civil rights movement. It is not.
Right.
It is not. It's like I swear it is not the same when you were a middle class kid pissed off as opposed to people literally walking and being beaten by by
Yeah.
police,
Yeah.
dogs attacked. My grandmother is still scared of dogs from being from Vicksburg for that reason.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah.
so it's like
It's yeah, no, I'm glad because it's like, like I was saying before, you've kind of lived through this and know a lot of people that have lived through it. And it's totally outside of the Portland bubble. And people get stuck in that bubble. They just, everything becomes,
their problem.
everything becomes a genocide and the
Yeah.
world's ending. And this is, but like you're saying, you get outside that perspective and see the actual stuff. And it's
Yeah,
like,
it's just
it gives you some
all
context and awareness.
all
and,
of that context is what kind of was burned in before I went to school. And then I went and studied the system. And, like I've graduated in some of the biggest, pivotal points. I graduated law school in December 2015. Or no, undergrad in December 2015. Law school, December 2019. And then, it was such a pivotal moment of American history. And then I remember distinctly 2020 studying for the Georgia bar exam, watching people storm the Capitol.
Mm.
And I was just like, what in the hell is going on in
Right.
America right now?
Yeah.
And then the irony of studying to be an officer of the court and, protect and, try to champion this system that has brought so much good to people. Obviously, America's done a lot of dirt, but
Yeah.
I feel like you can't. I think of it this way: it's like if you've got white clothes and you've got a couple stains on it, it doesn't mean you throw the shirt away. It means you wash it with bleach, hang dry it,
Yeah.
and then it looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
and
it's
to
like
me, it's like that's what people are doing with America. It's like it's like we do have a dirty history. Every country has a dirty history.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, people treat each other bad.
Human nature's
Yeah, it's like human
pretty
nature's human
bad.
nature. That's one of the reasons why we have police, fire, things like, mechanisms to kind of protect society as a whole from
Yeah.
bad actors. But
Yeah, no, it's
it's just-
if people just focus on the negative. I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of what the hyper left does nowadays. Is just focus on the negative stuff. It creates this huge anti-Western sentiment, but there's no
Yeah.
focus on the good things that the
and
country,
that's
and
I will say it's
all
like I
countries
agree
do
with
good
that.
and bad
Yeah.
things.
It's like I don't know how we got to just hate as the
Yeah.
the main line. And like you said, the left is very much like these are bad. The right's the same way.
Yeah,
They're just like
yeah.
these are bad. This is why they're bad. And to me, it's just like we're all Americans.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of things that we all like, we all need. It's like, and I guarantee you, most of these people, if you remove the the identity they've co-opted, that's not even theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Especially social media. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's like you probably get along with those people pretty well.
Yeah.
It's like
That's what's funny is like even doing this show, sometimes people will be like, it's just weird when people are here sitting in front of you. It's like you can talk to anybody. It's not like this online shit slinging. Like
that's
most people. I don't know. There's probably a few people that
I
are,
will say COVID to me kind of fast tracked that. It's like
Yeah.
it got to the point where like if you had social skills, you were rip raring and ready to go to talk to people again.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you were just like, this works for me.
Yeah.
And to me, it just kind of sped up the bad behavior people already had.
Totally. Yeah.
So it's like if you already didn't really care about people, you had a period of time that you were able to be fairly selfish with zero consequences.
Yeah. And
It's
I
like-
feel like I can tell. I don't know if you feel like you can, like when I'm just out in public and, you meet 10 random people, I can usually tell when someone's like extremely online.
Mhm.
There's a number of ways. One of them is if they're wearing a mask or something weird. I don't know. Like there's a number of ways you can tell, but like it's pretty easy to spot the people that like don't have a lot of social skills and they're just spending a lot of time on the computer.
I can. I'm one of those people. So I was the nerd that played sports. So I was the like always kind of tried to bring those people into like social.
Yeah, sure.
So in Portland, it's like I watched that real heavy. It's like we first moved in this neighborhood. I literally, my wife will tell you, I waved at everybody on the way to the bus stop, and I swear it was probably 3 weeks. This man stopped. Why are you waving at me? I was like, I've passed you every day going to work. I was just saying, hey, have a good day. And he's like, oh.
He like, something's going on
Yeah,
here.
it's usually something's going on. So you're just being nice? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh. Well, thank you. It's just like, but
Right.
it's
There's like a barrier.
there's a barrier here. It's like, and to me, it's like you throw in the hyper political nature of it. It's just like it's
it's like people want a reason to have enemies, and it's like
to me, it's like I want a reason to have friends.
Yeah.
It's like that's how I think about
For
it.
sure. Yeah.
It's like most people here, and obviously, estate plan, you kind of have to think about like the worst case scenario and plan around it. So it's like it brings a little bit of morbidity to your sense of humor, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But also it just kind of makes you really think about what actually matters.
Yeah.
Because when you're giving advice to someone because like they've lost their loved one, and we've covered all of the moving pieces, so there's nothing that's really scary that they have to deal with, but it's just you see, like I've had clients that I do planning for non-traditional families, so it's literally whoever walks in, and the fact that like I have a Southern accent that's kind of off-putting for some people in Portland because very progressive. They automatically assume that I've got some type of bias that they don't understand or deal with. But I watch
they think you don't know how to read or something.
It's I mean
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it's real. It's like you throw in being tall, black, and an athlete, and people are like, you're an attorney? It's like, yeah, I like to read. But it's it's just one of those. I feel like we got to get back to like seeing people as people.
Yeah.
Not as a enemy, not as an object, not as an obstacle, but like as someone
online username or something. Yeah.
To me, it's just like even even if it's online, you can still, because I mean with our social media, it's like we've reached out to people and tried to be real. It's like it's like you could usually like to harp back on the AI. It's like social media to me is a tool that can be used for good or can be used for bad.
Yeah.
So if we have people that are engaging in hatred online, reach out with a little bit of love. It's like, because I love this city. It's like my wife literally cried when I told her we were moving back here because I wanted to get out of the ambulance chase, and I was kind of pigeonholed with where I was at in my career. I was only going to be able to do litigation, doing car accidents, divorces, slip and falls.
Doesn't sound too lovely.
It's not what I went to law school for.
Yeah.
I did a lot of business disputes, things like that, but it was what paid the bills. And that beggars don't get to be choosers in a bad economy.
Yeah.
But this was to laterally move into white collar law because from my probate court experience, I saw what families go through when you don't have a plan. You get the state's plan. So I like what I do because I get to protect families in a way that like most of them don't even understand until after the fact.
Why did I cry though?
You cried because I moved you to Columbus, and she's like, this is what you said. This is what Portland used to feel like. It's like a sense of community, police, fire, respected for the job they do. We have actual accountability and training. So if things wrong, we fix it. Cleanliness. We don't really have the same level of property crime down there. Obviously, I think it's a constitutional carry state. You're not just gonna steal stuff off your neighbor's porch when he probably gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
So it's like obviously manners, or people are polite when you got guns in your pants.
Yeah.
But it's just the.
I think the culture and the livability here have kind of taken a. I don't want to say a nosedive, but a dip.
I will use my family. It's nosedive longer than that.
Yeah.
So what was you said 2018 for you?
Yeah.
Lauren? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people point to that. Yeah. Like 2017, 2018.
But you also got to think that was the cusp of like everything was kind of building, we still had the hope from the Obama era.
Right.
So like there's a lot to that point where, it's like there's swells of growth, but we didn't acknowledge that didn't happen. It's like all that you thought was going to happen in 2018, 2019 disappeared in 2020 everywhere.
Right.
Like it is crystal clear for me because like I graduated. I was like, oh yeah, I got a job. I was like, oh shit. The court just shut down. I got to figure out a job. I was the first one out because it was the last one in.
Yeah.
You know, I had to deal with furloughs, and then I didn't get any of the special COVID money because I was, you know, magically didn't meet the
Mm.
thresholds for stuff. So it's like I've had to figure it out. And most of what I've done in my life is literally like reading the rules, figuring it out, not doing it, pivot, you know, try to
Yeah.
get there.
No, I think the like, you know, communication aspect is important too. Like you're saying, even with your current job, when you have to like do some real talk with people, because what I was going to ask along the or the multi-member district lines is like, you know, I talked about this story a while back, but these people and this guy in D1 had like these crazy problems. I don't know if you remember the story in the Oregonian, but this guy had all these like encampments around his place, RVs, fires and trash and stuff. And he like was telling the city for months. And he even reached out to all the D1 counselors and they had just like basically ignored him. And so, and the funny thing was after that happened, I did an episode on here and I reached out to those same counselors just to be like, hey, there's this problem with you guys like responding to constituents.
Yeah.
And they basically sent me like a bunch of auto replies and were like, we'll get back to you in like several weeks or whatever, which I just thought was funny. So I'm trying to get a comment about your unresponsiveness.
And then you're being
and then I'm just
unresponsive.
being like sandbagged or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I was just curious because like with your skill set and your communication that you're just talking about, like how would you approach that? You seem like you would just direct.
So I will say it's like,
people and
I will tell you exactly how I plan on doing this.
Yeah.
My wife used to do a lot of social media and marketing, so she will be, you know, how you get a hold of me. That currently, I jokingly say, I will give you my number if you actually want to talk to me, call Lauren.
Yeah.
It's like, but that also being said, I actually just think I'd give enough notice when, you know, things are coming along the pipeline.
Yeah.
That like, and have multiple windows so people can talk to me. You know, we can do Zooms. Like you know, I'm really flexible now post COVID doing, you know, legal work on Zoom. So it's one of those like, I'll send you a Zoom link.
Yeah.
Talk to me. It's one of those, it's like, I just don't understand the excuse of not being accessible.
Yeah.
When we've got more technology than ever. You know, there's another thing. It's like, why are these people so misinformed when there's more access to information than ever before in human history? But, you know, it's like, that's another soapbox.
No, I agree with you. I don't get the inability to have access because it's like, you know, I understand there's only so many hours in their day, but they have usually they have staffs of like 5 people. And when there's 3 of them in a district, it's like at least one of them should be getting back to you.
Again, it's like I don't have an answer on why. It's like I worked for a judge that like, people got a hold of us. You know, it's like, you know, we 8:30 to 4:30, and you'd leave a voicemail on, you know, Friday, and then he'd call you back. You know, it's like, or I had to call you back because I was the lowest clerk. It's like, it's, you know, it's to answer your question, the reason why they don't care.
Yeah. Well, it seems like there's a general, you know, we were talking at the beginning of the episode more about like it sounds like you're kind of going to avoid like the theatrics. Like a lot of these guys are just into the theater of it, and they want you in the city council meeting to wear their shirts and have their signs and get kicked out of the meeting or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's so much other stuff going on. People don't have time to even go to those, first of all, but like for the people that reach out to them, they kind of just get sidelined and they're like,
yeah, I will say a lot of, you're correct. It's like, I don't understand why it's so performative to me. Especially the fact that like, we don't have time for that right now. You know, it's like the fact that we are still talking about the same things this far into an election cycle that were the same discussions that they flew me out in 2022.
Right. It's like you're stuck in time. Yeah.
It legitimately, I jokingly told my wife, it's like, I feel like I went back in time because like this is literally, you know, before I came to Oregon, before, you know, 4 years ago, it's like Portland wasn't even on my radar. I was literally the only reason I got to Portland is because the background checks for the 3 other contracts took too long. I was supposed to either be in Charlotte, Salt Lake City, or Denver. And then by the time all of those slots filled up, and then Portland was the one, I was like, I've never been to the West Coast. And Portland is, ironically, to date myself, the only thing I knew about Portland before that was CCS skateboarding company.
Oh yeah,
is from here.
Out to them. I bought a lot of shoes from them.
I literally, that was my Toys R Us calendar back home.
Yeah, hell
It's like,
yeah.
and then Burnside Park. It's like, that's all I knew
Okay, you're
about
an old
Portland.
skater.
Yeah.
Hell
It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
that's
Hell yeah.
all I knew about
I
Portland.
used to skate. I have a skateboard over there, actually.
It's literally one of our campaign events. As soon as another plug for the public funds match, I need 250 people. If we can get 250 skaters to give me
Oh, that'd be cool.
some
Yeah,
money, it's like I will go
you
down
can.
there and have a
That'd be awesome.
event. It's
Yeah,
like, but it's
I think
just
we need a skaters counselor, like a rep for.
I honestly, she's been trying to get me to get back into it, but
I'm
that's
scared too, honestly. Like I said, I have one over here,
uh,
but I'm like gonna turn 40 soon, and I'm like, I'm gonna break my knees or some
see, you
shit.
just gotta learn how to fall.
Yeah,
It's like
skin up my elbows again. But no, I
it's
did it
like
when I was like a teenager.
that's for me. It's like I skated up until football was getting serious, and my coaches literally like made me sit down. So junior year of high school, I went to the DC skate park in Dayton,
That's like
Ohio.
DC shoes.
DC Shoes,
Nice.
where my dad's originally from, and I actually got to meet Rob Dyrdek's dad
Nice.
there and skated and absolutely demolished my ankle trying to jump down a stair set,
Oh no.
and learned about horse liniment soaks by my great grandmother, and it magically thought that I was healed and tried to go back out. And my parents were like, "You limped here." Like my dad's like, "I helped you up these stairs. You sit down." It's like,
What is this soap? What is,
it's absorbing liniment. I'll
okay.
send you
I've never heard of that. Yeah,
it's an old school
it's like
thing.
an old remedy.
It's an
Yeah,
old remedy.
I've never heard of that.
So it's the orange bottle. You get it
Oh,
essentially.
okay.
Well, they rub horses down with it, like the.
I got you.
But
Okay.
it
It's like
is.
for muscular.
It's literally muscle
Huh.
relief, but it's technically for veterinary
Yeah,
medicine.
yeah.
But it's like
That was your
every 70 to 90-year-old back home has got one
right. You
underneath the
swear by
cabinet.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I swear by it
Yeah.
for 20 years now.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. I'll have to try it out. Yeah.
it's like
No, that's funny. That was like your skater solution to just get back out there, or
that's how I am.
yeah,
It's like in general. It's
just gotta
just
get back up and
it's,
go.
it's like
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we can do it again. Well, also like that was such a cool place to me.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't have so Columbus didn't have any skate parks until a kid got hit by a car,
Mm.
and then we got a public park.
They're like, we need a place for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just like getting kicked out of like the city government spots. So it's like I always have kind of had the like this a little bit of an anti-establishment
Little rebel.
vibe.
Yeah.
And then studying government, it's just like I kind of got to I was a Democrat for a while, and then let's talk about the bioremediation stuff. All of the Biden and Obama era like USDA and EPA programs that were like trying to push private sector solutions to climate change, they pretty much told me I was lying and I was quoting their own sources.
Hmm.
So it was one of those where it's like I couldn't even get them to, and this happened in Vermont and Tennessee, couldn't even get the USDA or EPA reps to come look at the working farm
Hmm.
that's doing what I'm trying to get scaling funding for.
Hmm.
So I've always been a figure it out, get it going, and if you say I can't do it, it's like, all right, well, just wait.
Yeah.
It's like
I'll show you. Yeah.
or either I crashed and burned
Or
and
it's gonna
then
happen.
explain why
It's
it
gonna
didn't
happen.
happen.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it's one of those like
No, I
I'm
get it.
honest about it, but
No,
it's
that's
like
cool.
a lot of that started from,
I was thinking about it. I think like skaters have this natural, because when I was doing it as a teenager, you're probably the same way. It's like there was just signs everywhere. It's like, don't skate here, don't
Mhm.
skate there, and you kind of look at that and go,
Yeah, I
you
could
just
get
look
there.
at the whole environment, and be like, where can I go, and like what can I get away with, and like you're
Mhm.
just very aware of like the law and why is that there, and I
Mhm.
don't know, it's just interesting.
Oh, and honestly, I can't even imagine how much trouble I could have gotten into skating here with our 20-minute police time.
Yeah.
So it's like, you
Just get
definitely,
out of there and just
definitely
go
could have
somewhere
got some
else,
footage
yeah.
and hopped in the car and bit.
Just experienced it with the domestic violence.
Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah, actually, my wife, was that 2 weeks ago? So we live on Woodstock, kind of a big, busy,
Yeah.
was it between
It's like
New Seasons and US Bank, right? Or Key Bank. So between New Seasons and Key Bank, my wife and mother-in-law were running errands and witnessed this man dragging a girl by her hair, just wailing on her.
just on Woodstock.
Yeah, on Woodstock, all the way down the block or the street. bystanders on the other side are yelling at him to stop. Obviously not
That's
stop.
wild.
And just wailing. So her and my mother-in-law were called the police and are recording what's going on. There's another man who's a couple blocks ahead of y'all.
Yeah.
And then he had called 5-10 minutes before y'all. So they got there within the 20-minute window. We had both citizens essentially doing a citizen's arrest and, recording and trying to make sure he doesn't get away before the 20 minutes, that they're coming because, they said they're coming, but obviously we know it takes time. They got there. The guy resisted arrest. The victim that was getting wailed on said she fell while we all watched what happened. But I mean, that's, if you know domestic violence situations, is like that's usually the case.
Okay, got you. I see what you're saying now.
It's
Yeah.
like
so they were a couple.
They were a couple.
Yeah, I got you.
And she didn't want him, in trouble for whatever reason.
Right.
But we, essentially 2 days after that, was it? We saw her in the grocery store. Yeah. So two days later, we saw the girl at Safeway, stealing beer.
Okay, because that's what I was gonna say. Just for people's like awareness or whatever, like you would say these people were probably street homeless or.
Oh yeah, they're unhoused homies. That's what we call them.
Okay. Yeah,
it's like they're not ones that like. We kind of keep joking. We say we're the mom and dad of the neighborhood. We keep tabs on everybody.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen them before that time, and I've seen them since, and they are actively in drug use.
Yeah.
And then once he got out, because we don't keep anybody, they're back together walking around the street collecting cans, and we're at dinner, and I was like, wait, isn't that
again?
I was like, isn't that the dude? And he's just like, yeah. I was like, I saw the girl's face. I was like, she wailed on her and she was right back to it. And then, well, I mean, I've dealt with those cases. Is like a lot of those women can't get out of that situation for, whatever reasons. But it blew my mind that happened on such a busy street.
Me too, because
and it was
broad daylight.
Noon? Oh yeah, broad daylight, between noon and 2.
Because also this time of year, it's like daylight most.
It's summertime. It's exactly where it shouldn't have.
It is wild because most people, and even when I take people to Woodstock over here, it's like, I'm like, this is like a quaint kind of pocket of Portland. It's usually pretty safe, but that's like for that to be going on. That's wild.
To me, it was what was alarming is the main drag thing. I'm from a place where like, criminals don't do it that visibly.
Yeah, right.
And then
it's busy. There's usually a lot of people.
It's like there's a lot of people that were trying to stop all that. And then I was like, how in the hell is this the status quo?
Yeah.
Where
Well, it highlights a thing that I think a lot of people don't think about. I don't know. A lot of people disagree that it even happens, but like, there's so much crime in the street homeless community that goes like
real.
under the radar,
it is real.
Yeah, it's
so my wife is one of those people that she likes to feed you. So we do a lot of where we kind of feed anybody in our we call them our unhoused homies that look like they need a meal.
Yeah. There's that food thing on Woodstock. There's that little food drop off thing.
We put stuff in all the time.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's like we have gotten so many stories that from just our friends about how violent that lifestyle is.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have any mechanism to protect them. It is them protecting themselves.
Yeah.
And then that creates a whole nother problem because, it's who's the victim when 20 minutes later show up and someone, may have defended themselves, but then you've got to decipher and it looks like that person's the aggressor. So it's like, to me, it's creating more problems by just, again, the harp on the, I don't know why the city's ceding so much authority to nonprofits is like, that is your responsibility.
Yeah.
Those are your citizens. They should be safe. If they are unhoused because they need access to mental health treatment, then why don't we do that? If you need a safe place to stay because I don't think people understand how many predators prey on people like that.
Right. Yeah.
And then they don't feel like they can get help because no one listens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the amount of stories that they tell us just because like we've looked out for them. And then they're like, oh, he's an attorney? Like it's it's just literally trying to look out for our neighbors
Mhm.
in a way that like I don't want that type of violence near like my home. It's
Yeah.
like that's simply how I feel.
Yeah.
It's like
And
this
I
should not be in the
for sure, yeah.
the major corridor of our
Yeah,
neighborhood.
it's a major thoroughfare of this district, and
It's my
I was gonna
favorite
say,
word.
what thoroughfare?
Thoroughfare.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's it's like
It's
there's a lot of bus
I just
lines on
laugh
there
because
and
I
stuff.
say that all the literally how I describe it,
Yeah.
and my wife always was like thoroughfare. So I was like it's I
I
don't
can't
know
do
why
the
they did it
accent,
on a
but
major
yeah.
thoroughfare. It's like,
But now say I've dealt with it here in my neighborhood because it's like I've talked about on the show. I live on an unpaved road, and a lot of times they'll track zombie
mhm,
RVs. And there's a famous. I don't know, it wasn't that famous. It was on TV. There's a guy with a machete
mm.
like right outside my
Oh
house for
yeah,
a while, and but it's like one of those things too. Like I'm curious what you think about it. I heard this on a recent Peter Santinella episode where he was going through the Memphis hood, basically, like for
mm,
traps and stuff. And he was saying a guy who was in recovery was saying it's like a lot of people, even when they get into recovery out of that, it's hard because they're kind of addicted to like the hype and like the
the
crazy
lifestyle,
energy
the
and the
lifestyle.
crime and
Yeah,
all that. And to me, that's a newer thing with like fentanyl and some of these newer drugs. And it's
Fetty's
like,
brought a whole nother like level of it's like drug addiction's a real problem.
yeah,
It's like it has been for a while. Like the war on drugs is a failure. It's like that's why the compassionate model was voted for, but we haven't implemented a compassionate model.
yeah,
To me, it's like you said, it's like we create a environment. Like I said, the organized crime scares me for this for
hmm,
that same reason. It's like they don't care about anything other than money. It's like we have created a system where the community can't, protect itself essentially.
yeah,
We've got all of, the unpaved, no street lights. It's like, come fall, it's dark.
yeah. I know,
It's
yeah.
like it's
It is weird,
real
like,
dark. It's
yeah,
like
yeah, I guess
so
it
it's
is
like
like fall time. There's sometimes I'll be walking my dog around here and it's like almost like pitch black and
yeah,
it's
and it's
weird.
like
I'm like, we're in a city here, like it's
yeah,
just weird
and
and
well, to harp on the paved roads, I don't understand why the east side doesn't have paved roads. I've never lived in a city that had like I've lived in the country. I lived in a rural place in Vermont for law
yeah,
school.
yeah.
We had paved roads.
Right.
It's like
That's why it
it's
blows
like
my
the only
mind. We're
time
in a
and the only
major
places
city
that
and like
didn't have it were
there's
like
miles
off
of
in the
these.
holler because of the
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
the snowpack would crack them.
Right.
So it was graded and then we had a mud season. But this is a city. Like I've never
I know it's
ever
all flat too, and
yeah, this is
it's
one of those I have never in my
but it's
life.
basically I don't know. I always do these segments on it, and then I don't really explain it to people. But basically, yeah, a lot of this got annexed, and the city just has this thing where they're like we're not responsible for these. And at this point,
Yeah.
with PBOT's like deficit, they're never gonna
Yeah.
take that responsibility. But I'm just like it's unthinkable to me that
To
we're in a
whose
city and all these
responsibility is it?
guys.
If it's not the cities, if it's not the counties, it's certainly not the citizens.
That's what they would say. As far
I
as I know, on all these, they're like, if you want to pave it, get all your neighbors together and
with
pay
what
for it,
money?
basically. Sometimes what'll happen is like this happened a couple streets over is when they'll put a bunch of new houses in, the new builders will do it
Yeah.
because like I don't understand why you'd buy a new house, brand new house on an unpaved little cut through. Like
We're harping on something I get in trouble for bringing up all the time. It's like it's because especially riding a motorcycle. It's like if I
oh
cut
yeah,
on
yeah,
a road that I'm not like, oh nope. It's like literally you've seen me do it. It's like absolutely not. Let me turn this around
yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
But it's just like this is a rich ass city to not have
I
paved
know it's
roads.
weird, and
Like
there's so much talk about equity and livability and
to me,
for
what I would say,
accessibility. I'm like, what? I don't
it's
know.
like
Some of it is.
maybe we should have less bike lanes and actual roads.
Yeah,
Personally,
I totally agree.
it's like they can ride on the side of a regular paved road.
Yeah. Let me go. I have a lot of these little topical things, so let's try to do like a lightning round, I guess here. Just seeing how we're doing out of time. All right, you mentioned Moda before. Where are you at on Moda?
That's actually one I was really excited to answer in the union
I just
interview.
wrote
Didn't
down,
get to.
should we use city funding to renovate that thing?
So I actually have a prepared answer for that
Okay.
because I didn't get to do yesterday.
Okay.
So Portland is being asked to help pay for a renovation of an arena it already owns. So we got to fix it at some point.
Yeah,
It's
that's why I
like-
wrote down here, quote,
so-
city owns it.
Yeah,
Just people don't
so
know,
the
yeah.
proposal on the table was roughly 570, 600 million tied to a 20-year lease with the Trailblazers. So the numbers I had, the state's committed about 365 million in bonds. Multnomah County proposed another 88 million, and then the city shares 120 million up front plus like 285 over 20 years. So about 400 million for the total city commitment. So their own reporting says it could top about $1 billion, once everything's all said and done, with debt service, interest, things like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And these city things balloon. And,
everything the government
yeah.
does balloons.
Just
it's like, so
multiply
it's
it
like,
by
I see
4,
400.
yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
times 3. That's
Yeah.
probably what it's going to actually end up being.
Yeah.
But they say it's like 470 million is in needed repairs. So we're gonna have to do that anyway. And then the owner said he wasn't gonna put any personal money. So to me, it's like, if we're already facing a shortfall, I think it'd be irresponsible to commit this money without real, contracts saying what we're getting. So I personally think we should use this as an opportunity to increase police and fire, since we're going to absolutely need that with a
You're
large.
saying some of that money.
And same, tie it all in one package.
Yeah.
So I will tell you my model in my mind of this. Atlanta rebuilt the Georgia Dome.
Okay.
And I watched all that happen because my dad's a season ticket
Is
holder.
that like Falcons?
The Atlanta Falcons?
Okay, yeah.
It's like, you wouldn't know because we don't win very often. But
I like the Falcons sometimes.
we got good jerseys. Like, we got a real good stadium. I'm going to tell you about it. It's like, but we don't
Brand new state or
we don't
renovated stadium.
win a whole lot of games. It's like, but they tore down the old one and built the new one, and then essentially it's it's a public-private, which obviously we don't quite have a the same way to do a public-private since we own the land.
Right,
but what I
right.
think we could do is kind of fix up what we need to, because it does bring a ton of money. We're actually going to a concert there tonight.
Moda or
Yeah,
Nice,
and Moda. And then kind of use the opportunity to force everybody to be an adult, in my mind, because we're going to lose a lot of business if we don't have a major hub for people to come. And then it's on the county's role. A lot of people were saying that they don't own the arena, they don't get collect the tickets or parking, at least the revenue fees. But to me, it's like, this is such a piece of, I guess, showing that we're not anti-business. And, I'm not saying I have, no one's talked to me about my ideas about this yet, but I think that, we're having the wrong conversations about this. It's like, where everyone's like, oh, I hate the Blazers, I like the Blazers. It's like, bro, do you know how much money's about to dip from this state if we don't do that? And then we're on the hook for fixing a stadium that nobody's going to want.
Right.
So it's just,
Yeah, I was, maybe I'll put the link in. I was reading this Oregonian piece on it yesterday, and it was crazy because they were, I don't know who wrote it, I'll have to look it up again, but it was, there's a lot of mentions of like, contingencies if the Blazers leave. And like you said, even if they did, we're still going to have to renovate this thing.
That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, let's, try to bring the owner to the table, have a conversation of like, what would make you want to put private funds in?
Yeah.
For one, so the taxpayers aren't footing everything. Personally, is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't want to put your money here, there's a reason why. It's like, so
get him across that line.
Yeah, get him across that line to, even if it's not his, loans, things like that. Right. That's usually how these things work out.
Yeah.
If they're going to work out well, you don't just saddle the taxpayer, especially this tax base, with that deal.
Right.
It's like, if we were flush, that'd be a different conversation
totally,
in my mind.
Yeah.
But we're not. So it's like, let's use this opportunity to get a little flush, is how I think about it.
I think that's a
it's
good
like,
answer.
so if we can figure out, a big location. So the way I think about it would be Georgia Stadium or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They've got every one of the food and concessions is all priced on the market that you would buy it outside of the stadium. So they've got all the local restaurants that everyone loved around the old stadium. They let them have, essentially a food cart set up in there. The pricing is competitive, so people actually spend money while they're there. To me, it's like, if we do that, my dream is to get Laurel's in there, because I just found that chicken place.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a place to go.
And they're going to have to go from the Lloyd's.
They're going to have to go somewhere. Yeah. So if we, open up the Moda Center development to where all the concessions are local, small businesses.
Spot for that, yeah.
And then think about all the concerts. You can literally go to all these really cool food. And it's like, you can open it up and be a food court.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, if we kind of take what Portland does well, showcase that in a way that attracts business, you know, be competitive on taxes, you know, in a way to sure, I will say kind of the way that Georgia brought in a lot of business to where we were is kind of working deals on land, you know, letting them kind of get going and then getting the tax money.
Sure, yeah.
It's like business is tough. There's a lot of upfront costs if they're
Yeah.
going to move something there. So it's like, to me, we're not having the right conversations. It's like,
Yeah.
so it's like, if I can be the one person to, you know, sit down with a businessman and be like, what do you actually need to say yes?
I think it's great.
And then go to, you know, people with more decision making authority than me and be like, this is what we need.
Yeah.
And then, you know, figure it out.
Sure.
To me, it's just like we've said before, is everything's just so nope at the top level. And then we still have to make these decisions. They're coming down the pipeline.
Yeah.
But if you don't deal with it, then you literally react to the situation.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, I use this term in my planning, write the vision and make it plain. So whoever's going to follow your plan actually knows what's happening.
You know, you've talked a lot about police already in this episode, but I was curious your take on the ballot measure that's going to be on. It seems
the
like it's
one
going to be
given
on
the
the
PSF funds?
Yeah.
Yeah, we signed that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did too, but yeah. So you're down for that?
I will be voting for
Okay.
it. And to me, if it doesn't go through, I will make a post saying, what in the world are y'all thinking?
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of people trying to sink it, which is not surprising
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
city.
it's given the climate, it's not surprising the pushback because, like we said, they have to hit their like national, you know, bullet points.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just like, if you were going to do that, let's get rid of those private security officers you got, so you can
Right.
see what
Yeah.
this actually is like to live with.
Live like we are here.
That, I mean, it's no joke. It's
Yeah.
like that's what I hate to say it in the union interview. They got a little mad about that, but to me, it's like, if you're going to work for the city or the county, you need to live where you work.
Mhm.
You know, back home, it's like the police officers that everyone liked were the ones that lived where they worked.
Yeah.
They have a understanding of the community that you just can't have if you're driving in and out.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about this to my friend Gene in Nashville. It's like the only reason most of the firefighters don't live inside of Davidson County is because they can't afford to.
Mm.
We're doing the same thing here in Portland. So if we could even find someone to do that job, they can't afford to live here at what we're
Right.
trying to pay them.
Right.
And then, like we were talking about, that is a stressful ass job.
Yeah.
Just the doing it. You were literally hyped, like on fight or flight mode for 48 hours
Yeah.
straight. Then it takes you about that time to become human again. Because, you know, if you know what that is, it's like it takes a while for your body to get back to normal after going through that. And then the second they're normal, back on the clock.
Yeah.
That is a very tough existence. Just,
Yeah.
you know, if you love doing your job.
Yeah.
You
It's
throw in being told you're a absolute shit human
right.
on top of
I say
a
it's-
terrible schedule.
It's highly pressurized, and everyone's
And everyone hating on you. Yeah, and it's just one of those like, to me, it's just like, what? That's gonna get bad police officers
Mhm.
that are, I've got power, I'm gonna do what I want to do, since they
Right.
hate me anyway.
Yeah, and they start seeing each other as the enemy. and
Yeah,
whatever,
or
yeah.
you got guys that do want to do it and then they quit
Yeah.
after they burn out. And that's what a lot of our, you know, friends who are former police officers or firefighters in Portland, like, that's it. They're just
Yeah.
like, it's too much here. They move to a small town and
Yeah.
you know, where the people actually are happy that they showed up
Yeah.
and did the job. And then
Yeah, and I'll say I know a number of people, like PPP officers who've been there for like maybe 10, 20 years, and they're like waiting to
counting down.
retire.
Yeah,
They're waiting.
the story we
yeah.
were telling you earlier,
Yeah.
the Multnomah County Sheriff, it's like, ironically, he served in Fort Bend and he was an infantry guy. So we, him and my wife talked about me being from where he, you know, served. And then just kind of talking to him, he had the same thing. It's just like, yeah, I'm just counting down, you know, till I can retire and then, you know, get over with this. And it's just
Sail
like,
off into the sunset.
and to me, it's just like, for an infantry guy, and I know what those boys go through.
Yeah.
Like, I've got a lot of friends that did that. You know, it's for him to think this is too much.
Right.
Like,
That's a lot. Yeah.
just you know, pure, you know, brass tacks is like, if he thinks being a civilian police officer, or, you know, not going to war, is too taxing on him and his family. What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's an
because
incredible
we all knew those wars
burden.
weren't
Yeah.
like, you know, a
Yeah.
good idea. You know, to me, it's never a good idea to go to war without a clear plan to leave it. But
Right.
that comes from being raised by people who went to war.
Yeah, no, it tells you a lot that, yeah, if people went through that, or like,
They're
this
just like,
is worse
it's
than
like,
that.
man,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I don't want that.
I had a similar one. You made a video about the CPBA funds being used for police, right?
Yeah,
or
and
I
then
guess you can
after
explain that
listening
people.
to Max, I realized that I didn't quite understand that. You know, it's like if the earmarked funds that they weren't having it, you know, if they don't have anyone to spend it, then you know, sorry, I was shooting at y'all. It's like, but in all honesty, it's like it goes back to the point I was making. It's like there's money around
Yeah.
for what we need. I don't care what fund it is. You know, I've heard some other candidates say, "Oh, the voters voted for this, and that's what we're using." It's like they did not vote for this bill of circumstances.
Yeah.
Like, just to be real, nobody would have voted for this. So if those funds are available to fix what everyone has said they have a problem with, use them. Don't use a stupid excuse because you wanted to be, you know, do your idea. It's like, you think I wouldn't have loved public funds to build my, you know, environmental business? But no, I had to figure it out in the market, and
Yeah.
they didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
for
it's,
sure.
you know, to me, it's like I hate
Okay.
to say it, it's like, but it's like, let's get back to the free market of government where it's like the money is coming from taxes, and there's not a money tree.
Yeah.
It's regular people working,
Yeah.
and you're squeezing them. So if you're going to take that money, you better do something good with it.
Okay.
And if you don't, give it back.
Yeah, give it back. I agree with that. There's another ballot initiative going around, this participatory budgeting thing. Have you heard about that? You know that thing?
Can you tell me a little more about it?
Yeah, well, it's like this is my take, okay? Oh, and it's also been documented in like Willamette Week and Oregonian, but it's funded by a lot of dark money nonprofits, and I say dark money because they don't have to disclose where that money comes from. And I do like some of the merits of this. You know, the idea is they take a portion of the general fund and like what they would say is let voters determine what that's spent on. But in reality, from my understanding, they've basically formed a committee to represent people, and that committee gets to decide how
Didn't
that
we
money's
already do
spent.
that with the city councilors?
Yeah, and it's kind of, I don't know. It just seems like kind of a
Well, I mean, to me, it's just like we voted for people, the city councilors, to represent us, make decisions based
and
on
they
our
pass
values.
the budget anyway, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, I will say this: I haven't read the details of that, but I will keep harping on this. It's like cities need to do very few things well. That's it. Everything else that we're trying to do can be accomplished elsewhere. Not saying forever, but given the context of us having no money to do basic things, that's what we should focus on.
It seems like an extra, right? Like it's
it seems like I will say this. First moving to Portland, a lot of people say Portland will solve a problem, have a committee, talk about the problem, and then problem solved. That just seems more of what that is to me.
Yeah.
It's just like, let's create another step to not do the job.
There's so many things that just get additive. It's like, you're right. Like we lose sight of these basics when we're just like, hey, let's add this, let's add this, let's add this. And it's like all those systems and structures cost money. And especially when you have a committee, you got to select them. There's time spent on that.
Like, I will say this. They always want to say, let's send it to the voter when it seems like they've already had a foregone conclusion of doing that to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like I've talked to a lot of regular voters. We all kind of have the same complaints. It's like we don't need creative solutions to solve these problems. Like we need simple solutions to solve simple problems.
And I would say too, if this charter's as wonderful as people, paint it out to be, we shouldn't need this. Like, I don't know why we need to keep adding shit. But anyway,
I will say my piece on that. To go back to the performative nature.
Yeah.
These elected officials want to me, create a national narrative for them to ride off into the sunset after they've ruined this place for everyone else.
For their career, you mean, like,
yeah,
whatever that
is, whatever that looks like. to me, it's just they're trying to make a name for themselves at our expense. And it's just not fair to me. It's like it's one of those I would 100% love to not be involved in politics. I I am a type of person. I've just gotten to where I can see the goalpost in my career. I have gotten really good at a niche field because Oregon has pushed, the estate tax so far down the economic ladder that like I would have never gotten this type of practice federally. You don't have that many people worth 26 million.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, but here, there are a lot of people, the way that the math works for Oregon with your home and anything you own in your name, where I do a lot of estate tax planning that I wouldn't ever do anywhere else.
Mm.
So it's just, uh, I don't know. It's like, this place to me is, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It has all the bones of being a great city. And then it's like you said, it's like we get an idea and, push the goalpost away from where we need and then don't fix what we all need fixed. And then it gets worse.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, we don't have the money to fix it. It's like, well, I mean, if you would have fixed it 6 months ago, it wouldn't have cost what it costs now. But if you ignore it for 6 months, it gets worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the I was gonna say at the top of the show, it's one of the reasons I like having especially candidates like you is because like, there's Portlanders who lived here, pre 2017 or whatever that see the old Portland and understand that. But then there's also people like you who like you've seen other cities and like and then you come here and you go like this is crazy. Like
Well, yeah,
how do you guys do this?
That's
And
exactly what
and so
it
I
is.
appreciate
It's
that
like,
perspective.
and I will say I do have I would say I'm not the normal transplant because my wife's family's from here.
right.
So it's like
You get a little bit of that.
I
and-
have
yeah.
the rosy of what this,
Yeah.
the period of time where Portland was like popping, and
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
you had that like bubble and hope.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what drives me, because like it breaks my heart that they're leaving their home, and I mean, I hate to say it, they're man-made problems. To me, it's like I'm from a place where like you leave your houses because you got a hurricane or a tornado,
yeah.
and it's like it's real. It's like you
yeah.
hop in the car and you drive inland.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be leaving a place because of local government decisions.
Right.
Like, just to be
Yeah,
honest, it's like
yeah.
the federal government, it has a standard of what they control.
Yeah.
State, city, county. Your local government should be the most palatable to me of any government structure, because those people are the closest to your neighbors.
Yeah.
You will possibly never, ever, 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 ever see your senator. If you should always be able to see your city councilors, your mayor. They should make a point of being available and interacting with the city in the same way their constituents are.
Yeah.
It's like you should ride public transit and you shouldn't get special treatment if you're an elected official. You should see what it's like for everybody else.
Yeah.
And then you make a decision on how you fix it. You don't come in with your crew,
Yeah.
telling them you're riding. It's like you pop up, middle of the work week
Yeah.
and see what regular people are dealing with.
Yeah, for sure.
And, that's honestly,
I-
that leadership style is what's been ingrained in me, just because damn near everybody were like, soldiers or officers.
Mhm.
And if they weren't, a leader themselves, they had an idea of what good leadership looked like.
Yeah.
And they certainly had an idea of what bad leadership looked
Right,
like.
right.
So it's just, to me, it's just, I don't know. We've got a bunch of people who've never been in charge of anything, all of a sudden in charge of everything. Or they're like in charge
Right,
of,
yeah.
agencies that ain't never balanced the budget. Now we think they're going to balance the budget for the whole city.
Yeah.
It's like,
No, that's a good illustration for people. I've never heard that of like, other states and other cities people run away from natural disasters and like we've
we
created our own natural
it's
disaster
like-
here.
And I watch it literally weekly. Like
Yeah.
all of my clients, like the ones that can't afford to leave, literally vent to me about what they have seen their city turn into.
Yeah. They're part of that statistic that's like, I would love to leave if I
But
could
can't afford
it.
to.
Yeah.
And then some of them are just like, literally like, I can't afford to stay here either. So it's just like you feel stuck.
Right.
And it's just, I feel like not enough people in charge have actually had to make those tough decisions, that like our choices don't show that you actually understand what people are asking of you.
Yeah. I just got a couple more of these. I mean, you just touched on it, but is there anything else you want to add about? I always bring up the Portland City recession because, like I said, some of these counselors don't think it's real.
Oh, it's
And, I always say the several quarters of negative employment, 20,000 people left Multnomah County, according to the new census.
yeah.
These are like staples of what
Mhm.
monikers of what you look for in a recession. But like, with your tax background, what you were just saying, you just see a lot of people taking off.
People are voting with their feet.
Yeah.
I'd say that's kind of the trend that I've seen since we've been here. So, I've luckily or unluckily, my only reference point is the current Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And I see people that do not feel like their vote is going to matter because of the block we've talked about. They don't like the decisions that are being made, but they also don't feel like they can do anything about it. So, just in my own family, my mother-in-law and father-in-law like cannot afford to retire here. Like it's can't. They're looking to move back to where I just came from because they're, he's got a retirement from the military. My mother-in-law's got PERS. She's a school teacher. That money they won't survive here. It's like, it's not enough. It's like, I'm an attorney and I do not understand how people make it here. Cause like, I don't make good money in other markets.
Yeah.
I literally moved here to learn this field. It's like, I jokingly say, it's like, I can move almost anywhere and print money with it. Only good things or you can count on in the country are death and taxes. And I magically figured out a way to, to tap into both of those.
Okay.
But
like
it's, I'm kind of setting down my plans for, me and my wife want to open our own business called Honest Law Group. So like I said, that's my stick as being an attorney. It's like just telling the truth, letting you make a decision for yourself. But that's tabled because this shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sorry I cursed so much.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
That was more her than my mom.
I welcome it, The last one I was going to ask is about, I think we've mentioned PSEF a few times, but like, I just put PSEF standoff closure because I asked a lot of candidates on here, like, what do we do about this thing? Like, people say we need a referendum, another vote on it. I am just so tired of every single issue that comes up to fund this or that. It just creates this huge battle that takes like months to fight over, and whether it's right or wrong. But how do you feel about it?
Personally, I don't really get the idea to send it back to the voters when they've already deviated so far from what the voters voted for. So if we're going to use it as extra money for pet projects, which is what they've shown they want to do, let's use it for the real pet projects. Yeah, that's how I feel. If we want to, I personally think that they should just use the money as the general fund overrun until our budget is solvent. I don't understand how I've got so many moving pieces. I grew up in a consolidated government where the city and county.
Oh, nice. I wish we had that. Yeah.
How many times have I said that one? It's like, it don't make no sense. So to have 3 people doing the same job,
right?
When, you could have 2 people do more.
Yeah.
And then move that person to another department. But, that's a soapbox to me. Efficiency is, very important to me with government.
Yeah. No, I think that's, it just makes so much sense. Like what you said of like,
plus
half
of these people make more money than I do.
Yeah. Well, when we're in this super budget crunch, probably for the next 5 years, like
if we're smart,
there's a fund right here, but whatever people.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that get stuck on the titles of this stuff to me. It's like Portland Clean Energy Fund. It's like, no, don't stop that. I want Portland to be clean.
Yeah.
It's just like, drive around. They're not using that for that.
Right.
It's like, there's new construction for, damn near everything, but we can't fill the buildings we got.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's not what that money's for. It's like, if we want to keep the environmental focus, it's like, I hate to say it, but you can make an environmental argument for almost anything
I
now.
know. That's
and it's
how
like,
I feel. Yeah.
So it's,
and
it's
I
like,
really don't understand the motive pushback against that because I'm like,
it's a
people talk about
building.
LEED and all these certifications and stuff, and it's like you could really make that thing way more energy efficient than it is today. The
Falcon Stadium is literally the most like energy efficient stadium
like
and it's like they've got paper cups and plastic. Like it is. We covered all those bases.
Yeah.
And obviously my background with environmental law is like, you can do both.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you can protect the environment and move things forward, fix what's already there. It's like, I always talk about this. It's like, we're surrounded by water, but we don't have no clean water.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like it's, brackish that bad. It's like, it's because we haven't done what we actually need to do to protect our waterways. So the idea that we have a clean energy fund, and a couple weeks ago, there was actually the clean energy fund to me just is a joke because we still don't have clean electricity. It's
Yeah.
like, it's one of those that you just move it down the pipe stream. It's like, we don't have enough solar, or certainly don't have enough hydroelectric to service everyone having an electric car. So we're going to have to get, power the old fashioned way
Yeah.
from
It was like,
coal.
yeah, like I don't
Or
say
it's like, so
5-10 years ago they were still piping in coal power from like Eastern Oregon
no,
and stuff. And
and if
PGE was, I think.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, we didn't upgrade our infrastructure to match the push for clean energy to me. So the fact that money's sitting there to fix stuff, and we couldn't even do it federally,
Yeah.
but we're going to solve the federal environmental crisis with
Right.
city funds. It's like,
We're gonna
just
do it.
give the money, to what we need. It's like, make the environmental argument. It's like, it's a 30-year-old building for the Motor Center. I guarantee you,
Yeah.
anything you do to update it to the current standards
It's gonna help.
is going to
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Like, it's, if we start doing some of them, there's developmental techniques now where essentially you can buffer. So think of, the sandbags when you're building it. If you've got a parking lot, you put those so it doesn't get to the waterway. It's like, you can literally use probiotics in that, to where we're having beneficial runoff from everything that runs off of that.
Mhm.
It's like, so if we do things like that, tie it all together, if you're innovating like that, there's probably a good bit of federal funds that are available.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just, we're creative, but not for shit that matters.
I agree. All right. Yeah, let's go through my goofy questions here. These are kind of random. A lot of times I'll copy and paste these from a previous candidate or episode. And so, but anyway, we talked a little sports. Are you a sports fan?
I am.
You played sports too.
I did.
Yeah.
So long story short, I have what's called congenital spinal stenosis. So what before 5 stars were a 5-star, that's, everyone, I was a golden child going to play SEC football. Ironically, back then my mind was to do the Gerald Ford approach, go be a football star and then go into politics.
Okay.
To capitalize on all of that and be able to use your platform to I mentioned how much I love Jimmy Carter, kind of use that same platform, build a platform, and then make your home better. But that didn't work. Obviously, you can't change your body that way. So I went to school the old-fashioned way. But I love the University of Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay.
If you see me during the fall and we live close enough, you might see me. I bark, and whenever anyone sees, I'll turn this for the camera.
There you go.
I'm a Falcons fan and a Braves fan. So I'm
Okay.
hometown.
It's all Atlanta.
I can't change it because it's, the bullying of my grandfather. You don't just change your team because you moved. I do pull for the Blazers because the Hawks suck. So it's like, I might as well, I have a local basketball team. But yeah, I love sports. I love what, they teach kids.
Yeah.
You kind of learn how to work with people that don't, maybe see eye to eye or look the same way you do. You work towards a goal, teaches discipline. It's like, I don't like how people, because I was very competitive, but when it's one of those where it's like, I liked the results of, winning, but I also was one of those people that if I got beat, I got beat.
Yeah.
It's like, but I just loved, and then it took a while to get used to doing, not having that, but it's just, I love different people that like don't normally get along, and then they're just like,
Sure. Yeah.
full of love
Yeah.
for
Kinda what-
even if it's just for that moment. And then seeing that again in the World Cup right now, it's like, literally, even if it's just for, that game, it's like strangers that are never talking to each other,
Yeah.
just like hugging,
Yeah, I
having
think
a
it's
great
like-
time. So it's
I
like,
guess ideally what healthy competition does is,
that's,
brings
it,
people together.
back home, that's how it is for most of us. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like we couldn't stand each other while the game was playing, and then after that we're all laughing.
Yeah.
It's like, and, that's kind of how I think about how should get back with politics. It's like, you shouldn't hate that person. They're your neighbor.
Right.
It's like you may
That's
disagree with them, but like, that's the
yeah.
beauty of America. It's like we don't all have to feel the same
I don't.
way.
I mean, this is like a loose theory, but Max and I were talking last time about like there's a lot of people in Portland who are kind of just like sports ball people. They don't care about sports and they call everything sports ball. And
I've
I do think that like if more people were into it, they'd be more collegial. A little bit
I
more.
yeah,
Because like you
I would
said,
say that
I
it's
think
like it's.
like when you participate,
I had
especially
never
in
heard the sports ball
competition.
until I moved here.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like literally. So one of my coworkers, every time I've talked to her and her wife, they're just like, "Oh, you're excited about sports ball again, aren't you?" And it's just
I
like,
know it's become this weird
I was like,
joke
yes,
thing,
I
and
am, and it's like, you want to know why? It's like because
it's this weird thing where like those type of people think that there's no depth to sports, but if they were to get into it, it's like there's so much
to
depth to it.
me,
Like it's
it's anything
crazy.
that many people can work together on. There's got to
Yeah.
be depth.
Yeah.
And it's just and I don't know. It's like maybe I'm one of those people that's like you can have your interests, and I want to know more about what you like about it. It's like I
Totally. Yeah.
did
I'm the
not.
same way.
It's
Yeah.
like it's
I don't even really like hockey that much, but if I talk to somebody who loves hockey, I'll just sit there and listen to
oh
them talk
man,
about
I
it.
had
And
no idea about hockey until law school. And one of the ironically the kid who cut me out of the business we made, I got to go to a Chicago Blackhawks and Montreal Canadiens game and got the like VIP treatment because
okay.
he went to Princeton and played with one of the kids. So he's like he's never been to a hockey game, and they're just like, what? I was like, it's hot where I'm from. Chill.
We have ice rinks. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I got to like, they explained it and they're just like I was like, "Oh yeah, I can see how, you could really get into this."
Yeah.
But, the same with arts. It's like if someone who's really into, a particular type of painting or music,
Yeah. Some kind
if
of craft or
or
whatever.
craft, it's
Yeah.
like, case in point is like we made a leather maker. She made me the coolest like
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
But it's just like hearing people that like are really excited about what something that it doesn't really matter what it is to me. It's just like I just like something that you're excited about and you've done, research and like this is me. That's
Yeah.
what I like to do.
Get behind that
And
passion.
then
Yeah.
they, you can tell me about it.
Yeah.
But I like you said, I don't understand how important that's like I give the same, hey, tell me about what you're passionate about, you know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, they're like, what do you like doing on the weekends? I was like, oh, riding my motorcycle, watch football, talk to my friends, barbecue, things like that. And they're just like, that's all you do? It's like, I mean,
Yeah, they don't see the like
yeah,
passion
yeah. I was
behind
like,
it. Yeah, it's funny
yeah,
because like the World Cup stuff's going on, and I'm like, I have to hear about it from people that watch
hmm
it. So like my friend Eli, he's been on the show. He's a candidate. He was at the what do you call it, Providence Park, the soccer stadium. I
yeah,
forget what it's called now, Providence or whatever. But he was there watching the USA game when they
yeah,
lost that game. So I just like I follow it like
yeah,
I don't even follow it, but I have to because people's like.
yeah.
But I'm like I'm just waiting for like NFL to come back, play some fantasy football, watch
See, yeah,
every Sunday
that's
and Monday
that's
and
kind of how I am. It's like I
Thursday.
appreciate everybody else's passions.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think that's one of the coolest things about like the melting pot of America, especially people from different cultures
Yeah.
here. It's just like I love learning what like makes you excited about stuff. It's like to me, it's just like life is so boring if you just stay in your own little silo.
Totally, yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I just I jokingly say as I'm trying to take this place back to the old fashioned values where it's like you run into your neighbor, you're like, hey, what are you doing? It's
Yeah.
like not like I hate you because I think you might have voted for Trump 4 years
Right.
ago, and it's just like, bruh, we all didn't get what we thought we
Yeah,
were getting in the
or
every
even the more
election.
petty stuff like, oh, you're an Apple fanboy, you don't like
Oh,
Apple,
people
whatever,
will bully me over technology. They can have it. It's like I can't keep up with a phone to save my life.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
I've gone from Apple back to Android back to Apple based
Oh,
on
okay, yeah.
whatever promo they have when we're renewing.
People really come
So
at
I've
me
got literally the only reason I have this Google Pixel
yeah, we
is
both have
because
Pixels,
it
yeah.
was free.
Okay. Well, it's funny because people give me shit for being on Pixel line for a long time. They're like, "Oh, you got green text and all this stuff," and it's just such I don't know.
Not to me,
It's so petty and it doesn't even matter anymore. There's
and
no difference
I'm the
between
type
them.
to just be like, it's like if you're really that worried about what phone I have, you're welcome to give me one for Christmas.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I mean, it's my money.
Yeah, and now they're like getting to be like $1,200 or whatever. So,
It's like to me, it's like I'm spending $1,200.
New motorcycle.
I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
it's like
There's other things you could buy. Yeah.
it's like I'd be upgrading from
Uh,
air cooled and carbureted.
do you have a favorite Dorito flavor? Do you like Doritos?
No,
If you
but
don't,
I
is there a chip like that you like?
I love potato chips.
Just regular Lay's or something?
No. My favorite chips I can't get here very often, but there's
Okay.
the Zapp's Voodoo
Oh, I
flavor.
know Zaps. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I like the salt and pepper kettle chips. If I'm gonna do Doritos, it's nacho cheese, but I'm also like doctoring them, so I'm putting queso and salt.
Ooh, I like that.
So there's an old restaurant back home called Mama Goldberg's, and they do nachos with the Doritos. So that's
Mm.
pretty much the only time I ever really do
That's
Doritos.
almost like too much for me. That's like a lot of sodium, but I would eat
I
that for
mean,
sure. That's what nachos are supposed to be.
yeah, I mean, to me, it's like that's again, it's like that's not your regular meals.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't advocate, doing that regularly. But also, to your point, that's why we have such problems with hypertension.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Do you like crunchy or smooth peanut butter? Maybe you don't like peanut butter.
I love peanut butter. I just mentioned I'm from Georgia.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, well, technically it's from Alabama. George
Okay.
Washington Carver invented it in
I
Tuskegee, about 30 minutes from where I grew up.
okay.
But
I
yeah,
remember in elementary or somewhere they taught us the
that's one of my other
peanut butter
favorite.
creation
That's
story.
one of
or-
my
yeah.
other favorite Americans, George Washington Carver. Get me started on that. I can talk
And
forever.
he's the inventor of peanut butter?
He's pretty much
There's a lot
all
of stuff?
100 or something patented uses of the peanut are from him.
Wow, that's cool.
It's actually biodiesel being used or floated to be used by I can't remember which Ford, but back in the late 30s, early 40s, he used to fly down, or not fly, however they got down there to Tuskegee, and literally was like in the lab with George Washington Carver trying to figure out like how to use
Hmm.
a lot of these patents. So it's one of those is kind of where I'm
So crunchy or smooth?
Yeah, do you like crunchy or smooth?
either, whichever's cheaper.
Oh, you're ambipinatribus or whatever.
I
you
like
call it.
peanut butter. If I'm
Okay.
gonna talk about my favorite peanut butter,
But what about the
New
oil?
Seasons where you can take the peanuts and like it's the natural ones.
Okay, you like the
Those are my
fur.
favorite now that I've been bougie out here. But generally, it's just Jiffy, smooth if it's cheap. If the crunchy was cheaper, I'd buy the crunchy
Okay.
because
You like it all, yeah. Somebody,
economics.
I'm trying to remember.
You want to know how I decide? It's that unit
economics,
price.
yeah.
It's the unit price between.
No, I want to say it was Lisa from Mother's Restaurant downtown.
I've heard of that one.
I think she was on here. Kristen always makes fun of. There was somebody that was like all into the New Seasons. There's a type of New Seasons peanut butter. But I don't
I've
know if
seen
it's-
it.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I like peanut butter. It's
Okay.
like whichever one's cheap. I've gotten like the fancy organic stuff since we lived here, but it's
Yeah.
just good old Jiffy. It's just been fun.
I like it.
Or
Yeah, I'm
Jif.
kind of the same way. I like all of it. Do you have a favorite fast food, or you
Yes, but I can't get it here.
what? Is it something over there? What is-
It's Whataburger.
okay, I've always wanted to try that.
Whataburger's my favorite.
I've heard some people are diehard
I
about it. Yeah.
put it this way: if I get enough money, I will bring one here. It's like,
Like-
I that legitimately.
You're
That's
saying,
one of
like,
the few
open a
franchises.
store?
That's one of the few franchises
You should,
that
yeah.
I would dump money into.
That'd be
It's like you
awesome.
can't make money in a restaurant, but at least I could eat for free.
I want to try that. So I still haven't even tried Shake Shack. I need to try it.
Yeah,
It's kind of overrated.
don't bother.
Okay.
Actually, I take that back. My new favorite place because I can't get Whataburger until we go home. I love Sure Shot Burgers on
Oh, okay.
Northeast 42nd in Alberta. They're
Shout out
right
to
next to
them.
my. Shout out to them for sure. When what was it like the first 6 weeks I worked there? I went there twice a week, and they knew me by name. And I walked by, and that's when my wife was like, "You can't eat there every day." And then I stopped for a little bit because I felt like bad, and they're like, "Was it not good anymore?" I was like, "No." It's like I got told I needed to budget, so that's probably my favorite
Okay.
burger place here. Their fries are bomb.
Okay. That's an
Uh,
old question I used
They
to
also
ask.
have
Do you have a favorite?
ranch chicken nuggets, which you need to
Oh.
try the ranch chicken
Like the
nuggets.
ranch is infused in the nugget.
So
That's awesome.
Dorito Cool Ranch sauce or the Cool Ranch like
Oh,
powder
yeah.
into like the batter is like the McDonald's type consistency, but not like the fake chicken.
Okay.
So it's bomb. I was
That
like,
sounds great.
it's a
Yeah.
good. They just opened a real location. It was a food truck for the 2 years, and they just opened up a spot next to the food truck.
Okay. Do you have a favorite French fry? Crinkle cut or curly cut?
Curly fries.
Curly fries. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I love curly
Curly's.
fries.
Everyone kind of leans
Curly
that way.
fries or sweet potato fries.
Okay. Is there an animal or creature you're most afraid of?
Alligators.
Do you probably kind of grew up with them over there, or
Made a point of never see one.
okay? I'd be terrified of them. I think
So
I've
I will
seen
tell
them.
you why they're terrified.
Yeah.
One, they're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
2, they are an apex predator. 3, there's no reason for me to be anywhere near where they are. And every time that like we would go swimming, they're just like, oh, there could be gators here. It's like, I'm magically getting out this water. It's like
Yeah.
there's no reason for
They're just crazy. Yeah, the death roll and all that stuff. It's like,
yeah.
they'll just sit there and then you're just dead. And that's, it's like, it's crazy.
And yeah, it's like, and I've seen them like do absolute damage to deer, and
Okay,
they
yeah.
are way more muscular than I am.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I've seen that on video or something where the deer's like right on the water and they'll just come up and snap them out there. And
I've literally, so growing up in Georgia, it's like we go to Florida all the time. The Everglades are like a whole thing. Like
and they're everywhere in Florida. Right?
Okefenokee Swamps, the whole thing. It's like it's one of those. It's like I've legitimately been in a rental house that's got like the glass enclosure on the swimming pool. There's gators inside of it.
Mm.
And I'm just like, and I mean, they're not big ones; they're the little small ones, but enough to me to know that it's
I
not
wouldn't mess
safe
with
here.
any size. Yeah,
Well, I mean, small enough to get away from. That's fine.
Yeah,
But after, I feel like that fear got really bad after watching Swamp People, though.
Yeah.
And but it's like in general, it's like
that's a good one. That's a good
alligators.
one.
Yeah. Everything else I can stay away from.
Fair one. Yeah.
Like,
do you have let's say you're going to Salt and Straw or somewhere. Do you have you're going
I don't like ice
waffle
cream.
cone, regular cone, cup,
I don't
first
like
of all?
ice cream.
Huh?
I don't like ice cream.
At all? What about soft serve?
Not since I got my tonsils and wisdom tooth taken out.
Okay.
So I ate probably the 2 weeks. I ate more ice cream than I could just because that's all that I could do. And then your mouth is hurting and you're just kind of numbing it down. But I like
nothing like that. Popsicles?
what's the place we went? No, I'm saying we got ice cream recently that I liked, but it was a cookie butter ice cream from Trader Joe's. That was actually pretty good.
Okay. I'm into this right now. I don't know what it is. I like friends of mine that listen to this will know, but I'm like, summertime I kind of go ice cream crazy, and I'm into sandwiches. So I'm getting like the M&M ice cream sandwiches, and then like the ones that have like cookies on top and bottom, and it's getting to be too much.
For me, it's the popsicles when it's hot.
Yeah.
See, I'm a popsicle person.
It's a good compliment to the heat.
Yeah. Well, to me, I really think it's just the dairy and hot doesn't do well for me.
I do agree with that.
So I think that maybe the ice cream, like I really like if I am feeling ice cream, maybe like a salted caramel, just something kind of simple like that.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's like I used to like it, but after like eating
that
being all that I could eat for those 2 weeks,
just burned it out.
Like
okay. We've got a couple more here. Do you believe in aliens, Bigfoot, or ghosts?
I do believe in ghosts, but that's because I've been in New Orleans, and
I'm sure they're real over there.
Yeah, it's like to me, it's just like I've been poked one too many times for my comfort. To confidently say that I don't believe in them.
Okay.
But aliens to me, it's just like, it's like I don't really care what's on other planets. I got enough people to worry about on this one.
I always find people like that really interesting. I dated a girl once for years who was like that, and I was like, it would just blow my mind. I'm like, you don't care like about other planets and all this other.
No, I mean,
she's like, no.
I will tell you, it's like I, for a fact, do not understand NASA. It's like we have spent so much money and burnt this environment to go find a place we don't know where we can live on. Yeah. It's the only one we know we can live on.
Right.
We spent a third of that money fixing this place up.
I get it. It's a good argument.
Well, to me, it's just like, I don't understand it. It's like, obviously, other people do, and that's why we do that. But to me, it's just, like I said, it's like, there's certain things that less is more to me for,
Okay. We've already shouted out a couple businesses. Is there any, I always just ask people, you got a good meal or a business you want to shout out? I was going to shout out Lorelle's, but you already kind of.
So I will go list all my favorite places.
Okay.
Like I said, I might not ever get a chance to talk in public again. So I love Lorelle's. That's the best fried chicken I've had in Portland. And I told him so. I love Sure Shot. That's the best burger. If you're going to do a fast food burger, Super Deluxe is pretty
Pretty
legit.
good, yeah.
Bake on the Run, if you're going to stay on like vegetarian, like no joke. I was on, it was like a month I didn't eat meat at that place. And for, yeah, it's Guyanese. So, they're in the Milwaukee food carts now. They used to be in the Heist, and then they got priced out. And then Spare Room, if you want a little greasy diner on the north side. I still low key do not know how their steak bites are that good a steak for the price. Hope please don't raise your prices. Pietro's Pizza, when I'm feeling a little
Shout out to
nostalgic.
Pietro's. I like their
It's
pizza.
a little nostalgic. My wife's
It is fun. They got the whole parlor experience.
yeah, it's like to me, it's like going back to
arcade and all that.
childhood.
Yeah.
They'll pick me up, and then Super Torta.
That's on Woodstock, right? Is it?
Yeah, I have not ventured past the crunchy tacos. I hear everything else is good, but I don't want to ruin what I know they're great at. What's the other place we go to? Delta
Oh,
Cafe.
Delta. Yeah, they've been there forever. Yeah. You gotta get some good.
Um,
Is that like? Would you call that authentic Southern food?
No.
Okay.
They try.
I know that's what it seems like to me. It's kind of a cosmetic. They're like, we'll sell this, but it's not.
They try.
It's not the true.
Well, I mean, I say that they give you the Southern ambiance. I'll
Okay.
give them that.
Okay.
But I mean, granted, as I worked in a country club, so that's not fair to ask me, Southern standards of food. But what's the other place that we go to?
Oh, look, I could name all.
Yeah, but there's another restaurant that I
a big
really
one?
liked that I don't want to leave off.
Your Italian place on Pole.
Yeah, Di Nicola's.
Oh yeah,
That's my
Yeah.
like go-to.
that's been there forever too.
Yeah, that I want to like. That's as close as I can get to an East Coast Italian meal
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
I used to love grits and gravy, and then they disappeared. We went there twice, and they're gone now. So it's
Okay.
like, hopefully these places don't disappear.
I know there's
Well,
so many. I was getting a shout out in this. I used to work at KGW for years, and the Leaky Roof closed. It's like it's been there forever. It's like an old Irish pub, but that just closed like this week. But it's like every week in Portland. That's unfortunately is what happens. But I'm glad you shouted out all of those ones.
I
Great.
am a District 3 person. It's
Yeah.
like this is like my home base, so
Yeah.
to speak, for Portland. It's like it's literally been my reference point. My mother-in-law lives on between 45th and Long. It's like that's literally how I learned the rest of the city from that block. So I kind of just go to the stuff that like I get good service and they're consistently give you good food, and then I'm old fashioned like that.
Yeah.
It's like unfortunately, it's once I find a place I like in the Heist, they leave, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah. And what's the best place for people to reach and donate and all that stuff? I was gonna say, if you like what you're hearing here, I always donate to people come on, so I'll send you a donation. But if you want to donate, what's the best place for people to do that?
We're rolling out a new website, so it would be my first and last name, MatthiasHallett.org. So that should be rolled out this weekend.
Okay, great, yeah.
But also, we've also got links on socials, and it's Matthias Hallett for District 3. Sorry, it's so long, but
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
I didn't
I'll put
realize
the links
I
in
didn't
there.
realize everybody was doing cheeky names. I was just like, this is who I am. This is where I'm running. Come find me. But it's right now. That's really what we're pushing. Because unless I get 250 people, I'm not considered a qualified candidate under that program. So it's one of those where it's like,
You got to get that threshold.
I got to get to that threshold, or essentially everything dies. But if that doesn't happen, at the very least, it's like I have a platform that I didn't have, thanks to you now.
Yeah, no
So
problem.
I will continually ring the cage or rattle the cage until this place gets more livable, because I'm stuck here. I can't even move my license for 5 years. So I would like this place to be good. But
No, like I said, I really like what I heard from you today, and I think you're super intelligent. You have a lot of good ideas, and
I try to be.
yeah.
Like, and if I'm not, like, if I don't know the answer, I feel like a lot of people just don't like saying, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like, to me, it's like, I don't know. There's certain things I just haven't looked up. But that being said, you can look up damn near anything now. So.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Yeah, thanks so much. You're always welcome back, and I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks, man.